Yo, yo, yo. We got a brand new Hockey Happy Hour coming at you right now. We got live reactions of Florida and Tampa Bay, and we got second round talk. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that fucking share button. Let's go.
Let's go! This ain't the fuck like Austin Stinker, he stinks!
Oh shit!
It's gone!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new edition of the Hockey Happy Hour live on A2DRadio.com. I am Matt Sinsuti, I guess in disguise, and along with this is the Darkwing Brian Daly.
What up?
And the Broken One himself, Rob Povia.
If I suck balls, you're king of Suck Balls Mountain. Ah!
And we welcome you, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Hockey Happy Hour brought to you by Manscaped. And by the way, guys, you could get 20% off of your order with free shipping with the A2D code at manscaped.com. And listen, it's time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life. That's 20% free shipping with the code A2D at manscaped.com. So listen, guys. You don't want to be dealing with, what is it, Bri?
Junk funk.
Yeah, you don't want that. So, and the ladies definitely don't want that. So do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor. Go get Manscaped. Take care of it, and you'll be golden. And today's poll question brought to you by none other than BetUS, which is one of the top leading sports books in the United States. And it's been in the market for 25 years, and you could bet anywhere in the U.S. on everything. And you can use the link that you see down below for 125% for a sign-up bonus. That's not a bad deal right there. Hey, listen, we're getting into the thick of the Stanley Cup Playoffs as well as the NBA playoffs. And, of course, baseball season's just getting going. So maybe you want to throw a little money around, maybe make some extra cash. Not a bad idea. And the poll question for tonight is the Panthers will beat the President's Trophy curse. Agree or disagree? They are currently in Game 1 against Tampa Bay Lightning, and they're leading 1-0 off of a goal from Anthony Duclair in the first. Gentlemen, do you think that this Panthers team can do it? Do you think that they can sidestep the President's Trophy curse and win themselves their first ever Stanley Cup in franchise history?
First of all, Maddie, welcome back, brother. Taking, I guess, your role in terms of keeping up with the live reads and controlling this shit show is hard goddamn work. And I appreciate you all the more now that you're back.
Thank you, Rob. It's good to be back. It's good to be back.
I cannot be controlled.
I will not be controlled.
Oh, so gents, what do you think? Do you think the Panthers can do it? Do you think that they can not only they got through a very tough series in the Washington Capitals, now they've got a tough battle against the Lightning. Do you think they can get through them and then the Eastern Conference Finals and then win themselves their first ever cup?
Go ahead, Robbie.
You know, I'm going to agree with this. I think they can. And I think we're seeing why tonight, that they bring a lot of scoring. They bring depth, all four lines, and they can play a defensive game with a tough shot blocking Tampa Bay team, as we saw in the first 10 minutes tonight. I mean, granted, it's game one. They're feeling each other out. You know, we've been around the block before. We've seen this before. So that's going to kind of predicate why the shot totals are low at this point, especially on the Tampa Bay side. But I mean, Panthers are really just, you know, flexing their worth in this year. I mean, so far in the playoffs in terms of being a well-balanced team, Brian.
No, absolutely. I mean, early on, Rob, like to your point, man, these guys are really feeling each other out, especially in that first 14-ish minutes into the first period here. Two really great opportunities on the power play for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Came up with 2 shots and 2 opportunities. So, obviously missing Braden Point is going to be a huge disadvantage for the Lightning, especially on that end. But seeing early here with the way the Panthers are playing, especially on the PK, super aggressive on the PK, not really allowing Tampa Bay to get set up to get a clean shot. It depends on how long Braden Point's out for. If he's game to game, this could be a very long series. But to the poll, I think if they were going to lose, it was going to be in the first round. So I agree to the poll. I think they do sidestep I think they've already sidestepped the President's Trophy curse. This is a tough matchup for them, but if they can get through Tampa, I can't see them not getting to the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, I mean, Tampa is just a resilient group. I mean, you saw it back against the wall in that series against Toronto, coming out and winning Game 7 in Toronto and just adding the misery on that fan base. We'll get into more of that later on when we get in the shootout segment. But just seeing the resiliency of a team that, I said, played a lot of hockey over the last 2 years. So they're a great test. President's Trophy versus 2-time Stanley Cup champs. I mean, what battles we're seeing in the second round? What great storylines too.
For real. I mean, like I said, this is going to be a battle. You got a team like the Florida Panthers as a fast transition team. They score off the rush. They are a team that can get set up, but a lot of people, want to overlook their defensive core. Yeah, it's probably not the best in the league, but they're top 5 defense in the NHL, and they're that way for a reason. You went out and you got Ben Sherratt, that made them better. You went out, they got Claude Giroux, which made them better as well. This is a loaded team in Florida, I should say in Sunrise, because they are playing a team in Tampa, so I got to be a little more specific. You went out and they got better, and now they can match up a little bit better with a team like Tampa. But again, without Braden Point, this team isn't at full strength, as strong as Tampa Bay is. But like I said, if Florida can keep up the aggressive nature, again, only game 1, but if they can keep up the aggressive nature on the penalty kill against Tampa, allow them to not get set up and keep the shots at a minimum, I don't see this Florida Panthers team losing this series and moving on to the conference finals.
All right. Well, it'll be an intriguing matchup between both teams. It's the second ever time these two guys are meeting up, second year in a row that they're meeting up. So the Battle of the Sunshine State, Chapter 2, Round 2. We'll see if Florida can make up for what happened last year when they lost that first meeting to Tampa. Of course, right now they're off to a good start, 1-0 lead into the second period. I think what really killed them in last year in that series, they lost both games at home at the very beginning of that series. And while they showed some resiliency and won games 4 and 5, they were kind of screwed the most. They lost the first 2 games. So if they can manage to avoid doing something like that, yeah, they're definitely in good shape for this series.
Maddie, that just dawned on me that it was back-to-back years, these teams matching up. Never knew that it was actually the first time that it's ever happened. They're really making it a thing.
Yeah, very first time ever. These two teams met last year in the playoffs. The Lightning went on to win that series in 6. And, this is the round 2, and it's very fresh. So it should be interesting.
With things back to normal in terms of playoff format and divisions, and both of these teams being elite in that Atlantic Division, probably not going to be the last time.
Nope.
Going through the divisions, through the bracket and the tournament.
Yeah. We got Tom saying, DeBoer got fired. Let's fucking go. Very happy that the Golden Knights got rid of their coach after failing to make the playoffs this year.
Now, Fletcher, don't you sign DeBoer.
This had me scratching my head for a second. And I'm not the biggest Peter DeBoer fan. And I mean, Matt, he's head coached your Sharks for a little bit.
Yes, he was.
You missed the playoffs 1 year in Vegas, and you're firing coaches. That doesn't seem right to me.
Well, Vegas has made a lot of puzzling decisions. They traded Marc-Andre Fleury for nothing. And
I mean, that one I kind of understand. You made a commitment to Robin Lanier, so that one makes a little bit more sense to me. You missed one playoffs in your franchise existence, and you're firing coaches.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out why they fired Gerard Gallant.
I think it's because this team wants to figure out what's wrong, and so they figure, okay, it has to be the coach. It can't be the players. It has to be the coach. It can't be the lack of the fact that goaltending at times failed them, and it can't be that. It can't be any of those things. It's got to be the coach. They're trying to figure out why they haven't got back to the Stanley Cup Finals and why they missed the playoffs for the first time. They're not happy, and they're not very thrilled that they're possibly on the decline, and they're worried about that.
I mean, that seems a bit of a rash decision there to.
Oh, it is.
Fire DeBoer. I mean,
Am
I wrong with that?
No, you are absolutely right. I don't agree with firing a coach just because you missed the playoffs 1 year. I mean, DeBoer, though, has a history of not making adjustments well, and that's probably the reason why when he took both of his respective teams to the Stanley Cup Finals, they did not win those respective finals. San Jose did not win theirs, and New Jersey did not win theirs. So, maybe that had something to do with it. Either way, no matter which way you want to roll with it, it still seems like a rash decision as well. It seems it's a knee-jerk reaction to missing the playoffs.
That's all I'm getting at.
I mean, why were they surprised? You're talking about a head coach that I believe is 50 games over 500 in the regular season and 18 games below 500 in the playoffs. Maybe not 18, but close to it.
No, I mean, that's a fair point. Some coaches just can't do it in the playoffs. And as a Ducks fan, we're familiar with one specifically in Bruce Boudreau, who was a phenomenal regular season coach, still is a phenomenal regular season coach. And I'm thrilled for Vancouver. It's going to get another full year out of Boudreau, but
don't
worry about it, Brian. Sense. We have plenty of experience. We have plenty of them here in Philly.
Yeah, definitely. Good old Flyer land. And Dylan saying Vegas is just like their town. Fun in the moment, immediate regret after. What's up, Dylan?
Man, no regrets. No regrets.
By the way, Dylan is saying, he goes on to say, what's going on, guys? I am hyped for the Battle of Alberta tomorrow. Go Flames, go. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about the Battle of Alberta in just a moment. We had Greg chiming in. What's up, fellas? What's going on, Greg? Saying, let's go. Throwing out some lightning bolts. Guess he might have put some money down on the Lightning. And said disagree to the poll. So I think he definitely threw some money down on the Lightning.
He's down in the area. That's where he's staying right now. You know what I mean? Like working. So yeah. So I get it, but don't disrespect G on our program, Greg. Don't do it.
Yeah. That's
Greg
kind
always
of
takes a disagree, though. It doesn't matter what it's about. He always takes a disagree. You ever watch agree to disagree? He's always taking disagree. He never agrees.
He's got to be the contrarian.
Unless it's a negative agree, he's not going to take it.
Yeah.
Yo, everybody wants to hear the contrarian take.
Of
right?
course. It's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it, and Greg decided, I'll do it.
He's the king of the Negadelphians. Love you, Greg.
Dan saying, hey, what's up, Dan?
Ready?
Got Eileen saying, good evening, gentlemen. How are you all doing? Oh, okay, Eileen. How are you?
Ooh, what's up, Eileen? How you doing, babe?
Man, they're getting the sticks up in this game. Stamkos just almost took it to the chopper.
Yeah. Joe saying 3 of my final 4 still alive. I had Calgary, Minnesota, Florida, and New York. Rangers and Calgary barely squeaked through. Thought Minnesota had some momentum. Apparently not. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about Minnesota and St. Louis. He's asking me what's up with the cam. Well, problem is my camera, for some stupid freaking reason, my computer is saying that my browser doesn't have access to my devices. So because of that reason, my camera won't work. I managed to get my microphone to go. And this is all about 5 minutes before I was able to jump on the air. So, of course, surprises left and right for me right now.
Time for an upgrade, Maddie.
Yeah, it's been time for a long time. Dan's saying, Bruce, there it is.
Right, Bruce, there it is. I mean, I'm excited for Vancouver to get him for a full year, so they should be able to get back on track. And I know
It's a great coach.
a couple players in that roster that are dealing with some personal shit. Hopefully, they can get some peace of mind for all that and get back to being able to play hockey. So,
all right, so. With that, we go into our East matchups that we got going on for the second round. Obviously, we've been talking about Florida and Tampa as they are currently battling. Still 1-0 Florida in the second.
Oh, almost 1-1.
Yeah, almost. Looks like, did that hit the crossbar?
Yep.
Wow, that was really close.
It looked like it ticked off the goaltender's pad, and the puck just went straight up in the air and hit the post. So it's a save.
Oof. Tough save, but that's. Oh, okay, that's what happened.
I'm watching on my phone, so it's a little smaller than normal. That's
right
what she
off
said.
it went off the kick pad and then up into Brandon Montour, but Brandon Montour able to knock it down and give it right back to Bob.
Still dangerous, though, because if that goes off of Montour with a little bit more velocity, that might jump into the back of the net.
Sure.
Let's see here. We got Ant chiming in. What's up, Ant? Saying, for betting reasons, I hope the Panthers win with the cup. Okay, there you go.
Fair enough.
Roska
Put the money
saying,
in your pocket.
Yeah. Roska saying Vegas Golden Knights suck. Wonder if Tom has anything to say about that. Dan saying, finished a one-day work week, 5.5 hours. So tired.
That's a good one. I've heard of the 4-day work week. 1 day. That's nice.
That is it's very nice. Hopefully.
I hate him.
Yeah.
Actually, I know of a lot of people that have a 1-day work week. I lied. They're at the welfare office. You know what I mean?
Tomorrow's my first day off in over a week, so I have no sympathy for that.
Brian, the hardest working man in North Carolina.
You're damn right. I got 3 goddamn jobs because I need to keep my mind busy.
Brian's over here like David Wayne's being like, 3 jobs. I got 13 jobs, man.
John's saying,
if I didn't have the brim, you guys could see the bags under my eyes and the dark circles. It's bad.
John's saying, I just turned A2D on and I'm feeling that big duck energy. Nice.
My guy.
Nice.
My guy.
Good to hear from you, man. Good to see you.
And by the way, guys, that little logo that you
but...
see on the side of John's name, that little logo indicates that he is an A2D member. So if you ever want to join up with A2D, it's $9.99 a month. There's plenty of cool perks. Some of them are appearances on shows, members-only streams, shout-outs, and weekly sports picks from the Money Pod Podcast and Willie Vegas. Those guys know what they're talking about, so you definitely want to take that advice and run with it to either Bet US or to a couple of other sponsors that we got on the show. So, yeah, get yourself signed up. Okay.
Ben Sherrod going to the box. Tampa Bay's going to get a power play. He headbutted somebody.
Penalties called in this first half of this game. Wasn't Tampa at least on the power play 3 times?
Twice in the first period. If there was a third one, I missed it.
Either way, you would expect penalties to be flying between 2 teams that are not, not too friendly with each other. However, though, coaches, they got to rein them in and be like, oh, no, calm down. Last thing you want to do is start having parades to the box. The Flyers know a thing or two about that.
plus, you don't want to take stupid penalties like Ben Sherratt just did and give Tampa Bay an opportunity to tie this game up, because regardless of having Braden Point or not, this team is also just as deep as Florida is, and just as dangerous, especially on the power play.
Yep. And saying, do you think Trotz comes here and coaches? This is the single most important move Fletcher makes this offseason. possibilities there, but I'm not so sure if Trotz comes here. Only because it's Philadelphia and we're not allowed to have nice things. We're just not. I mean, I'm surprised we kept Giroux for as long as we did. It's stunning.
I think there was a possibility before a lot more alternatives have come about. I mean, we talked about it last week, Brian.
Yeah, I'm not big on Trotz coming here, and I don't think he's going to be too big on him coming here because at his stage in his career as a coach, he's set up to be on winning teams, and this Flyers team is far from a winning team.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Flyers are in need of a coach who can maybe look a little bit of a bigger window here to be able to not only develop the talent, the younger players that are coming up and that are going to be on the roster next year versus a coach who is essentially a win now coach. So, from what I heard, Trotz is going to have an interview with the Winnipeg Jets. I think that's going to be a better situation for him than coming to Philadelphia and having to worry about developing players.
Yeah.
He's had success with, that situation in Nashville, but also look at what he's done since he's left Nashville. He's won in Washington. Why? Because that was a win now team.
That's really
he didn't have any. He had some success with the Islanders, but that's not a win now team. That's a team that's still trying to figure out their own identity, and that's why he had a lack of success this year as well. So I think if he comes to Philadelphia, the fan base is going to be trying to get rid of him after the first year because this team is not a team that's set up to win now, and that's what they think is going to happen when you bring in a coach like Barry Trotz, who is a great coach. Don't let me say otherwise because I'm not saying that he's not, but he's not the right fit for this team right now.
The timing's not there. And Ann, I apologize. I was off on another tab, and I heard Torts, not Trotz. That's why I was saying that at one time Torts would be an option here. But with guys like Trotz, like Paul Maurice, even a DeBoer, please don't do that. But there's a lot of options out there. So I think still tying in from my misconception to your point, Brian, that there's a lot of other guys out there that are more of an ideal fit for a developing team. Paul Maurice could be one of those guys in terms of player development. That's one of his strong suits. I'm always going to side with Tocchet in terms of being that work ethic, kind of what Roddy Brennamore is bringing in for Carolina. You know what I mean? But like sort of like that I wouldn't even say like rule with an iron fist. That was more of like AV, but like just a system of accountability. And I think that's what you really need. I think that's what the Flyers have been missing for a couple of years now is accountability.
No, absolutely. And Tocchet is that guy because you see how well it works with Brendan Moore in Carolina. That we're gonna roll with accountability. And it works well. And if you can get the right group, which obviously Brindy has the right group in Carolina down here because they're moving on the second round. Best team, one of the best teams in the NHL, one of the best defensive teams in the NHL, if not the best defensive team in the NHL. It works. So, maybe you do go down the Rick Tocchet road. But for me, and we'll move back to the NHL playoffs after this, is one of those three guys, Tocchet, Maurice, or even Claude Julien. Claude Julien did a great job developing Boston into a Stanley Cup contender and won one with the Boston Bruins. So it's just the way to go.
Yeah, I'd be fine with Julien too. Yeah.
All right. And Eileen, no, we're not having any technical issues. I'm not sure what's up with the feed on that one. We're fine over here, but might just be where it might just need a refresh. Let's see. Dan was just throwing out money signs there. Rob, I think your mic was muted.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I was saying because I saw your.
I
mouth
was muting
moving.
it because I was going to check out the feed to see if anything was wrong. But I was what I was saying was I think I need a refresh. Dragon ass tonight, and maybe that was meant to be muted, but I still said it anyway. And Dan, that's ironic because that's what they used to call me back in college, man. Either Rob Monies or Bobby Blunts.
John was saying he's the first ever A2D member.
He was.
Yeah.
He was.
And Rosca saying Orlando Magic won the NBA draft lottery, first pick overall.
They did.
And then John also says, agree, I want to see Florida shit the bed. Could you imagine their lame Stanley Cup parade through the retirement home community?
To be fair, they'd go down. They do it in Miami. They would do it on the strip down there.
I mean, that'd be pretty damn funny
though.
Yeah. All the 90-year-old people and their walkers just, throwing up their cane. Oh.
That was good. What happened? Drew!
What's this? What's this, hacky? It's hacky? That's what that's called.
I remember when Guy Lafleur played. No, you don't, Grandpa. You never watched hockey before. Who is Guy Lafleur? I don't know, Grandpa. We don't watch this. We live in Florida. Stop it.
Oh my God, that was so fucking trippy. Like listening to the show, but still hearing you guys or whatever. It was awesome. I'm gonna do it again.
You see, you don't need to drop acid to have a good time. You just have to.
Oh my God.
And Dylan saying,
Daddy's back, ladies and gentlemen. Daddy's back.
Dylan saying, if the Flames lost to the Stars, there were reports Sutter was going to retire again, as the Flames would have went to him rebuild in that case. Craziness. That is pretty crazy. I could understand the frustration on that. All right.
If he gets booted this round, and same report's going to come out. I'm just asking for myself.
Be interesting. John saying, oh wow, Florida almost made it happen. John saying, with the first pick in the NBA draft, the Orlando Magic draft Shaq's nasty toenails.
Good Lord.
After that one Geico commercial, I think he does, where he's walking in somebody else's shoes. Is that Geico? I forget what commercial that was, but he's walking in like some chick's shoes that are like 75 sizes too small.
Dan said, sure as you plenty of times. He's always telling you to give your balls a tug.
Hey now.
Oh, dear Jesus.
If you catch the reference, you have good taste. So
I clearly did not.
I'm mortified right now. I'm just going to watch a hockey game. You guys have a good show. See you, boys.
All right. So let's get into those East matchups here. So we talked about Tampa and Florida. Let's dive into our other matchup, and that is the Metro Division champs, the Carolina Hurricanes. They are taking on the New York Rangers. For both sides, the Hurricanes had that great run a few years back. Couple of tough endings to their runs over the last couple of years. The bubble, they got out of the qualifier by beating the Rangers. So this will be a rematch from that. And after sweeping the Rangers in that 3-0, they unfortunately got ousted by the Bruins. But after 2 endings to the Bruins, from the Bruins, they finally get that monkey off their back this year. They finally get through the Boston Bruins, and now they're here in the second round. It's got to feel good for them, but they can't let that blind them. They still got a lot of work to do, and their opponent, I'll say this right now, the Rangers and the Penguins, that was a very intense series, and it was a great series, too, between 2 heated rivals. And, I think that victory means so much to the Rangers as a team, because this young up-and-coming team did not have a victory in the playoffs. They only had 1 appearance, and that was that qualifier where they got swept. Last year, they didn't make it. This year, you make it. And you wind up winning a very tough series and coming back from 3-1. Huge win for this team as they progress forward, going on to the next round. So, gents, 2 teams, they have a situation here where both of them kind of shed a little bit of bad luck in the playoffs. One against a team that consistently eliminated them over these last recent years. The other team finally getting their first victory in a playoff series, up-and-coming wise. What do you think? What do you expect from this series? Who do you think wins it?
You look, you ready?
I want to see what you have to say first. Then before I comment.
All right. Because you look like you were about to say something. I'm like, I'm not going to jump in on him. I'm going to wait for him. I think this is going to be a very entertaining series, to be completely honest with you. I mean, I've seen a lot of the Carolina Hurricanes just moving down here to Raleigh, and you know, this is a team that you know, they thrive on accountability, they thrive on each other, and they thrive on setting up in the zone. They don't take shots unless somebody's sitting in front of the net. They are one of the best defensive teams in the NHL, and now they're going to be healthy with Freddie Anderson coming back. I believe he is going to be playing tomorrow night. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure Freddie Anderson is back in net for the Carolina Hurricanes in Game 1. The Rangers, on the other hand, they are a young, fast, skilled team. They score most of their goals on the rush, on transition. You know, they have the team built to do that because they have a lot of speed and they have a lot of scores. You know, they know how to create offense that way. You know, they create odd man rushes with that speed. But, you know, you're going up against a team like the Carolina Hurricanes who, you know, they like to play that physical game on the defensive side of the puck. You know, they like to, I don't want to necessarily say trap you in the neutral zone, but they'll shut you down at the blue line. Tony DeAngelo and a few others going up against a former team. I think there's like 5 or 6 former Rangers on this Carolina roster. But, you know, I think Tony D is going to have a lot to prove to this Rangers team. You know, it's, you know, Tony D, Jesper Fast, Derek Stepan, you know, all these guys, former Rangers. What's up, Benny?
What's up, Ben?
I see this being a high-scoring affair. I see this being a very high-pace affair. I see the Hurricanes winning in 7. I think the Rangers hang around. I think they make it a really good series. And I think they lose in 7. I think they lose in 7. Carolina goes on to the Eastern Conference Finals to face the Florida Panthers.
Fair enough, and I'm glad I let you go first because, yeah, that is going to be an interesting story. You know what I mean? And Tony DeAngelo versus the old club. There's a lot of bad blood there. I mean, we saw when Mark Friedman came back to Philadelphia in a Pittsburgh Penguins uniform, you know, and how much heat that brought in. Now you're going to multiply that by 1,000, by 1,000,000, you know, in terms of the story as well as it being in the Stanley Cup playoffs. You know, Carolina is going to be a tough test for Carolina because, man, all the momentum in the world is on the Blue Shirts back right now, coming back down 3-1. You saw Igor really struggling earlier on in that series, and then Pittsburgh really angered him.
We're all what? Yeah, we're
1-1.
all knotted up.
This is what I was saying before, man. If that power penalty kill doesn't stay aggressive, that power play is going to come back to bite them.
Looks like Corey Perry.
It was Corey Perry, yeah. What's Corey Perry doing on the power play?
Corey Perry.
Great move by Kucherov, though, man. They were not. They were locked in on Kucherov, and they left Corey Perry just wide. He had a wide open net too. Bobrovsky just absolutely froze.
Was that Barkov? He completely undressed by making that little move. Yeah, it looks like that was. No, it wasn't Barkov.
Zach Blood.
Yeah, Zach Blood. Yeah. Either way. Nice little move from Kucherov over to Perry all by himself and just puts it right into a wide open net right behind Bobrovsky. So there we go, 1-1 here in the second period, and it is Perry's 3rd goal of the postseason.
Go ahead, Robbie.
Yeah, man, this is going to be an exciting series, you can tell already. And so is this Carolina Rangers series. Prince Igor, I mean, you know, he had Vezina trophy finalist, obviously had a phenomenal regular season, was not looking like that in games 1, 2, and 3, even 4, right? Now he brought that regular season Igor back and just making save after save off of countless rushes from Jake Gensel and many talented Penguins players. I mean, I get it. They were down Crosby before he came back in game 7, but there was still a lot of talent there to stop. And, you know, we already saw that the Rangers, they can score goals. They can score goals with the best. I mean, Chris Kreider having a career year, you know, continuing that level of play here in the playoffs. Mika also woke up in that series. So coming into this series, do you carry that momentum, or is there going to be a stalled out period where you got to ramp up? Because if you dig a hole against a Carolina Hurricanes team, you're going to be swallowed up in the storm. Excuse the pun. So that's what it's going to come down to, is how fast starts in the series and in game one. In the end, I think the ride will end. I think it's going to be, when you have that much elation in a 7-game series, it takes it out of you. And there's a lot of young players on this team, a lot of players just getting their beaks wet. You don't believe in moral victories, but getting to the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs a couple years from being one of the worst teams in the league is a hell of an accomplishment, and just the beginning of the iceberg for the New York Rangers. I think Carolina will come out on top and move on to the Eastern Conference Finals.
I mean, you bring up a great point there, Robbie, because you know what? That was something I failed to mention in the last series, was the importance of Mika Zibanejad and Igor Shesterkin. You know, the one I will note this, though, the one thing that you did miss, he's also a Hart finalist as well. He's up for the league MVP. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be a great goaltending matchup. Obviously, you know, the edge goes to the Rangers, but you know, without Mika Zibanejad, they don't win Game 6. They don't win Game 6. He had like 5 points or something like that in Game 6, and you know, they were all big time points too. You know, and you know what? I want to say that I want to give the edge to Carolina as far as experience goes, but you even want to go as far as to say like they don't really have a ton of experience either in the playoffs. Sure. You know, they're kind of in the same boat here, but yeah, I mean, your point with Igor is great, because he's the best goaltender. He's a top 3 goalie in the league right now.
Right. And it's no surprise that he is up for the Hart, because they live and die with him. You saw when he was playing poorly earlier in the Penn series, well, it got to be 3-1. So, I mean, you know, when you make that much of a difference and you're the guy between the pipes, I mean, now you're talking, well, I mean, another icon in this city in Henrik Lundqvist level. Now you're talking a Marty Brodeur level, a Patrick Waugh level. I mean, I'm not about to crown the kid just yet, but he makes that type of impact.
Yeah, he absolutely does, and he did. Again, if it wasn't for, I mean, he made countless saves and big saves there in the final couple games of the Penguins series that really could have swung the momentum the other way.
True.
Right.
And we got a power play at the end of the period for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Brandon Montour got his stick up high on Hagel, and so he's in the box for 2 minutes. So big opportunity here for the Lightning to try and take the lead before the second period comes to a close.
What's in the box?
Apparently a bunch of Panthers. Jesus, they need to stay out of the box if they want to survive this series.
Yeah. All right, so...
No Braden Point, but this team is still extremely dangerous because they move the puck really well, like they're doing right there.
Yes, they are.
And they do it quick.
Dylan saying, if Edmonton scores all the power play goals, I think Sutter might strangle the officials, and most likely Zadorov, because he takes all the dumb penalties.
I mean, Sherratt took a dumb penalty that led to a goal, so I'm not surprised if that would actually happen. If I'm Andrew Brunette, I'm ripping this team in this intermission for taking too many stupid penalties. You know, the momentum was all in favor of Florida going into this period, and now we're going into the third period. It's all on Tampa's side right now. So if I'm fine, I'm Andrew Brunette. I'm sitting my boys on. We got to figure out a way to stay out of the box here.
And John saying, how do the Flyers shed cap? We have $6 million in space. Yeah, that would basically be the answer to that.
Trade a JVR, trade a TK even. You could even go way out of the box, and this would be full out rebuild. This wouldn't be a retool, but you sign Sean Couturier to a very lengthy, very expensive contract, and he's still got a lot of promise. You know what I mean? I think there's a trade value there. You make a trade like that, now you're really sitting pretty in terms of your flexibility for the team. Do I want to necessarily see that happen? No. I mean, I'd like to. I think Coots is young enough to where you can still build around him. It just depends on what your goals of the organization are, which I still am not clear about at this juncture.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think Fletcher is really clear about where the direction of this team is going. And I'm not saying that, to be a negative Nelly, but it's the truth. I don't even think he knows where he wants to go right now. I think they're still trying to figure that out. So, I mean, obviously trading is going to be the big way to shed some cap, but if I'm in that position with the Flyers and I'm looking at a head coach first, and then I'm looking at the roster second.
Yeah, there's a lot of tough decisions that have to be made right now with the Flyers, because of what happened this past couple of seasons. So there's a lot to look at, and Fletcher does not have an easy off season ahead of himself. And got no one but themselves to blame for it. So time to get to work.
I mean, I feel like Fletcher's gonna be on a short leash this year, so he has to make the moves that matter and put this team back. I mean, even if they miss the playoffs, make sure you're not finishing fourth from the bottom.
Yeah,
and I think you have a successful season.
I wouldn't even necessarily mind seeing that though, because the next draft is where it's at. So I mean, if you could get another top 10 pick, because we're not going to get in the top 3 because the league hates us. You know what I mean? But arguably maybe even tanking for what's his name? Bedard?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I
Connor
mean?
Bedard.
But I think you have to not be like, oh yeah, that's what we were doing all along. You got to make it known that that's the goal, because if that winds up happening, but you were trying to improve the team, well, that's a different story, and that's why Danny B is getting groomed to take a job. Yeah,
I think a lot of that is putting good old Fletch on notice and hey, Fletch, you fucked up, right? And we're kind of not happy that you fucked up. I think that
fucked up, son.
I think that press conference said a lot too.
I'm just gonna put this out there.
Yeah,
I'm not like Green Earth or anything like that, but aluminum cups are the best.
Yeah, dude.
My shit's still cold.
I'm right with you. Yeah.
My shit's still cold. I mean, different aluminum, but yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it's just wrapped with shit.
Mm-hmm.
John saying,
there.
Not that the Rangers are going to lay down and die, but this is going to be a great experience for them, win or loss. That is true. No matter what happens against Carolina, it should be great for them.
Absolutely is.
That's how you build a team. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's usually those teams that skyrocket success, maybe get right to a cup final, Vegas Golden Knights, you know what I mean? And then you kind of only have one way to go, but down from there. But you have that slow build where you're building something and you're moving through it, you know what I mean? And you take the baby steps like Bob,
What about Bob?
Well done, Brian. Well done.
Dude, that's one of my favorite Bill Murray movies. I'm not even going to throw you. I love What About Bob. That movie's great. If you haven't, you have to. You have to.
The best part about that, the best part I love is the fact that at the end of the film, the doctor, who's just completely gone catatonic because Bob's driven him crazy, buries his sister. And that's what pulls him out of the catatonic state. I thought that was funny.
Get therapy, Bob. It's a guaranteed cure.
Is that wasn't that Richard Dreyfuss?
It is. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was trying to remember off the top of my head, but I couldn't because my brain doesn't work right now.
I'm sailing.
He's tied to the freaking.
Front ass, yeah.
I love that movie. The movie is so funny. Like I'm telling you, if you haven't seen What About Bob, go out and see What About Bob.
Would you stop that, please?
Dylan saying Gerard Gallant really rallied the troops for the Rangers. Vegas are still idiots for letting him go in the first place. Same with Florida. That was another.
I can't agree with that more.
That was another knee-jerk reaction, too. I mean, we talk about the DeBoer firing. That was another knee-jerk reaction on the firing there. And that was, because they lost that Game 7 to San Jose?
I still don't know why. I'm still trying to figure it out. Why did they let this guy go?
It's interesting. Vegas has made some interesting choices in their short history. I wonder if it seems like they're sabotaging themselves. And I think we're just witnessing it happen slowly but surely. They are sabotaging their chances of getting back to the promised land, so to speak.
I think they're just like I said at the beginning of the show. I think Vegas is just being brash, and they're making decisions just to make decisions and make changes instead of trying to figure out personnel wise what they need to change, or if even bringing in Jack Eichel was the best idea for them in the first place.
I don't know. I mean, I think we'll know a little bit better on Eichel in that full 82. That will be when we'll really know.
No, I don't disagree. Like I'm not saying that it was a bad move to get him in the first place, and I agree with you. We'll definitely find out for sure in the full 82. But you gave up. Didn't seem like a lot at the time, but maybe you gave up more than you thought to get a player who maybe winning's not his main priority.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because he was okay. I mean, like, was he good in Buffalo? Yes, he was good in Buffalo. Was he great? No, but he was good. Now you're sending him to Vegas where he's supposed to be in the spotlight with a bunch of other superstars in the NHL. I don't know. I don't know if I see this working out. I think that trade is going to be is going to be a long-term bad move versus a long-term good move for the Vegas Golden Knights.
Well, they've already been talking about the possible Jack Eichel curse. So now that that's already become an actual thing, it's like, okay, it's a little premature, but okay.
Is it though? I mean, he was supposed to turn. Hear me out. He was supposed to turn Buffalo around, and look at where Buffalo is.
Yeah, but that organization did it to themselves. Don't get me wrong. Could Eichel have done more? Yeah, he probably could have. But
the roster's not that bad, though, Matty. The roster is not that bad, and this year Buffalo is actually better than they were last year.
All right, okay, that's a good point there. Yeah, that's a good point. Can't deny.
I mean, don't get me wrong. They still finished in the bottom half of the league, but they finished better, and they had a better season than they did last year. Their roster is really not terrible. They just need to figure out a freaking coach and get rid of some of the guys like Kyle Oposo.
Yeah, I mean.
Tage Thompson, though, he's going to be an issue.
Yeah,
he's going to be an issue for any team that has to play Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I will say this: I will definitely start to reinforce the curse of Jack Eichel if next year we come into this full 82 and Vegas still either A, misses the playoffs or is like a first round out or doesn't really do anything impressive. It's like, okay. Then I can buy into it. It's like, all right, then maybe the curse is a very real thing. I don't know. I'm waiting to see what happens next year, and then I'll see, okay, yeah, I'll reinforce it then.
Yeah. And that's fair. That's perfectly fair, Matty. I just from what I've seen since he came into the league, what was supposed to happen and where things are now. And Ted, what's up, brother? I know the whole situation with the surgery and all that, and I know that's why he's out. But if you look at where Buffalo is now versus where Buffalo was with Eichel, it's a better situation without him. They are in a better situation without Jack Eichel. I don't think he was the leader that they expected him to be. And I think he's going to have a very good career, but I don't think he's going to be the player that everybody thought that he was going to be.
Well, we'll definitely see what will happen with him in Vegas for his first full year in Vegas next season, and see if he can step up and the rest of the team can step up and not miss the playoffs next season. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But all the same, Buffalo, it's a new era for them, and they seem to be taking it in stride then. They don't seem to be crying over spilt milk. They're just moving forward, which is the healthy thing to do in a situation like this. All right. So, let's see here. Benny's saying, I think who they bring in and coach this team will tell you what direction they will go in. That's a very good thing to say right there, Benny, and I do agree with that. Ted also saying, how great was it seeing Pittsburgh blowing a 3-1 lead? Their fans have to eat that too. Yeah, that was somewhat enjoyable, but here's the thing. It was a lose-lose situation. I took it as the good news is that the Penguins are gone. The bad news is that the Rangers moved on. So it's kind of like, you take the good with the bad, I guess, on that one.
There's one guy I felt bad for. That's Mikey Klinkoff.
Yeah.
I know he was feeling this one. He took that one on the chin.
Yeah.
That was rough when you blow a 3-1 lead.
But hey, you know what? I got to give a shout out, though, to Louis Domingue coming into a very unenviable situation. And, not that Louis had never played in the NHL. I think he played a handful of games at one point in time. But Domingue coming in and stepping into a situation with Pittsburgh where you're in the playoffs. It's like, and an OT game, too, in game 1 after DeSmith got hurt. And ever since then, he took the bull by the horns, and he just, he kept playing pretty well. I was like, I got to give Domingue credit. That was not an easy situation to walk into, but goddamn, he made the most of it.
Too much spicy pork for Domingue. It was just too much for him.
Yeah, too much. I don't think his ass will ever be the same after that.
Maddie's back, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a nice 2 weeks, but Maddie's back.
Yeah, he is. I'm glad you guys brought this up because I did want to ask you this question. Do you think Pittsburgh maybe made a mistake going back to a healthy Jari and not sticking with Domingue, who was in the flow of the series?
I think, I kind of think so. But at the same time, Jari didn't have a terrible game. It wasn't like Jari was awful. I know that a lot of people are going to jump probably back on that Jari bandwagon of, it's all his fault that Pittsburgh lost this series. They shouldn't have gone to him in Game 7. Yeah, but then the other argument and counterpoint to that is, well, where the fuck was Pittsburgh in Game 5 and Game 6 trying to end the series? They didn't do it, did they? So just saying, to throw it all on Jari this time would be wrong. I could understand that Islanders series last year. Okay, I can give you that one, but I'm not so sure about this time. But I will say, though, they probably should have still stuck with Domingue. I mean, you don't – I get that Jari has, he's the normal starter, but at the same time, he's just coming off of an injury and everything, and that's – bit of a shitty situation throwing. I was like, hey, make Game 7 happen,
right.
Again, chance to redeem himself, but that was a tough call. I would not have necessarily made that call after coming off of an injury on a Game 7.
I mean, a game that Pittsburgh had the lead going into the third period too.
True. True.
And you had, 2 unanswered goals in third and overtime to win the series. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's hard not to point the finger at the goaltender, but I get it. It's more than that. It's a team effort.
Well, I mean, if you go back to Game 6, Louis Domingue did not look good in that game at all.
True.
So, you try and create a spark, and when your starter comes back, it's supposed to be like, yeah, let's go, boys.
Yeah, true.
Jari's in net. It's time to go. We got to win this for him so we can keep it moving. And yeah, he had a rough third period. I don't know if I can really fault him for that overtime goal because there was a lot of traffic in front. But, I don't think they made the mistake. I think jumping back to Jari, knowing that he was 100% was the right move.
Right.
Yeah, most of the time in the playoffs, you want to ride the hot goaltender, but you also don't want to sit your goaltender. Essentially your reason for getting to the playoffs and to begin with was Tristan Jari and Casey DeSmith. So,
right.
It's not any hatred or any like disrespect towards Domingue because Domingue got him to Game 7.
Sure.
He did enough, but he just wasn't good enough.
But it would have been a lot different if the series was like 2-1, 2-2, 3-2. It was 3-1, and you lost 2 consecutive games ago. That's the time that you would normally maybe even make a goalie change in general. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that answers my question.
Yeah, and then, the Rangers are, Gerard Gallant is a very smart head coach. He's got a very smart roster with a bunch of guys who have a very high hockey IQ. They made the adjustments on Domingue, especially in Game 6 when they were down 2-0 and essentially scored 3 goals in 3 minutes. They figured him out.
Yeah.
they figured him out, and they started making the adjustments, and they got the wins in Game 6.
Yeah, it was a tough situation, but I think Pittsburgh all around should share a little bit of the blame for this loss. It shouldn't just go to one goaltender, and a lot of people will do that sometimes. I feel like it's a little easy to throw it all on the goalie. Yeah, I get it. Sometimes the goalie lets in a softie a time or two. Yeah, you can hang him that. You can hang him for that. Like letting in a softie. But when it comes to having a 3-1 lead and blowing it, that's a team failure right there. That's not a goaltending failure. That's a team failure.
I mean, like Robbie said, man, like it's tough though. You don't have Crosby, you don't have Raquel. There's two of your bigger players on the ice, and yeah, Crosby was back for Game 7, but there was a stretch there in Game 6 where not only did Gensel had a huge freaking series for the Penguins.
He did
a huge series for the Penguins against the Rangers, but you lose Crosby, who is probably the biggest difference maker that you could ever have on any roster. And you lose Raquel, who's a former he's a guy who can create offense. He can shoot the puck. So that hurts you there. The Rangers are still playing with essentially a 100% roster. They weren't really missing anybody. I think Lindgren was missing early in the season, but he came, or in the series, but he came back. So that when you're not 100%, you're missing your captain, another top 6 forward, and you're starting goaltender, and you're essentially your backup goaltender in Casey DeSmith. It just doesn't bode well for you in the first round when you're playing a team like the Rangers. But to go up 3-1,
right? It was sort of storybook too. That's how the Pittsburgh began this season, with a rash of injuries, and that's what caused it to come to an end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
surely.
That's what did them in.
Yep.
All right. Ted also saying, could you guys see Flyers trading 5th round pick and TK for Matthew Kachuk? No.
They're not going to trade Kachuk.
No.
They won't. He's a huge piece of that franchise. That he's not going anywhere.
I could see the Flyers making that kind of a trade with those pieces, but I don't think Matthew Kachuk would be on the other side of that deal.
And then here comes a Johnny Hockey talk. Oh, well, maybe can you see it for Johnny Hockey? He ain't going nowhere either.
You know what that package might be good for? Maybe you'd have to throw in something else if you were trying to turn things around more in quick fashion. Tomas Hertl, or is he a free agent?
I think
he's a free agent, I believe. I think his contract.
Yeah, he's a free agent. So
I'll confirm.
I believe. It's been a minute. I forget what happened. I know it was a big situation going into the season, and there was a lot of debate around what they were going to do with him.
I think I want to say he has another year or two left on his contract.
He might.
No, he's free agent.
Oh, he is a free agent. That's what I thought.
He's a free agent.
Okay.
Free agent, yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, that's not necessarily something the Flyers want to do, is sign more free agents that unless they are guaranteed that it would be beneficial to the team. But, Dylan saying, I guarantee
you still need to bring in free agents. You just have to move some of these other guys out first. You got to get JVR off the books. You know, if you have the buyout, use them. Ted, the game's on TNT.
Yep.
You get JVR bought out. You got to figure out what's up with Ellis, because you have him for another 5 years. Like Rob was saying earlier, you get Coots healthy again and get him back to playing, as a top 3 two-way player. Who else needs to come off the books? There's a couple other guys, but yeah, maybe you move a TK to get him off the books for some space. But it's never a bad thing to look at free agents. It's especially when you're a rebuilding team. If I make that move, although I'm a big on Matthew Savoy at the number 5, or even if he rises in the rankings by the time the draft comes, maybe you go after Connor Geeky, who I think could be a really good fit for the Flyers. I don't know if I necessarily move the number 5 right now until you see what the rankings look like.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, that's a very good point. Dylan was saying, I guarantee Vegas signs AV.
1,000,000%.
And then Benny's saying George McVay has a history of pulling the trigger early. So that's something to keep track on. And then Ted said, he was talking about that. We read that one earlier. Dylan said Jake Ottinger.
Oh, shit. He's right. Tomas Hertl did sign an 8-year extension. I don't know why that's not connected to the other part of the – Why is that not connected altogether?
Now I remember. Jesus.
See, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. But still, within that, though, if you sign a player like that, you're obviously not looking to move them. You know what I mean? You're committing to them. So,
well, San Jose still believes that they can compete. They're not in the idea of wanting to rebuild, and so because of that didn't surprise me that they signed him back to that 8-year deal, and I remember that now because that pretty much confirmed that San Jose isn't going to rebuild. They're going to try and compete next year. So even though I think they should consider rebuilding now, but they won't right now. They're
a relatively young team. They don't really necessarily need to rebuild. I think they just need to get a little bit more top-end talent. I mean, they have Logan Couture, Tomas Hertl, and I can't even think of anybody else off the top of my head. I mean, Erik Karlsson had a little bit of a bounce back year, so good for him.
He did.
He needs to get off the roster. Same with Brent Burns. They need to buy those two out.
Those are the two biggest issues that currently San Jose has to deal with because their contracts are enormous and they're not worth the value right now.
No, I mean, I would hang on to Karlsson for another year, but Brent Burns, I would strongly consider buying him out.
Yeah, that definitely. All right, Dylan saying Jake Ottinger is the Conn Smythe winner. Still, even though he's out. Yeah, Ottinger had a great series against the Flames. He deserves a lot of credit for that series. I was
telling Dylan I'm going to pay him an homage at the end of the show for sure.
Okay, nice. Benny's saying I felt bad for Mark Friedman. I don't know.
All these cats make a hell of a lot more than I do. I don't feel bad for none of them. To play a kid's game, I don't feel bad for none of them. I'm jealous of them because they're doing what I want to do, but I don't feel bad for one.
Benny's just saying, do we think that this is it for Pittsburgh? Do we start to see the fall? Honestly, it's an interesting question, one that we've been talking about for a little while now, for the past few seasons. Pittsburgh's been able to stave off Father Time for a while now. Same thing with the Caps. They've been doing the same thing. So, maybe. That's the best I could give you is a maybe. Because with them, you think they're going to start falling, and then they make the playoffs again without any real major struggles, except for maybe a couple of stints here and there. But maybe it won't be that case. Maybe this will be one of those times where, okay, maybe they don't have a bounce back. Maybe this time they do miss the playoffs. Maybe not by much, but maybe they do this time.
I think you'll see a dip, maybe, as maybe Crosby and Malkin go off in the sunset. But there's enough talent on this team where I don't think they're going anywhere. I think, Brian, I don't even want to talk anymore because I think we're really on the same wavelength. And you mentioned the man before I'm thinking of, and that's Jake Guentzel.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And Tampa just took a 2-1 lead.
Yep.
Former Flyer Pierre-Edouard Bellemare.
Hey, good for Bellemare.
God damn it. Anyway.
G just yelled at him saying, fuck your mother. That's what I just heard.
And he said it to him in French,
fucking
too.
Oui.
Yeah, he said it.
That was a bad rebound by Bobrovsky there.
Yeah.
Right through the legs of Patrick Maroon, right to Edward Amar. Perry's getting another point tonight. That was a horrible rebound. You had two Panthers right there, both of them on Maroon. What? You just gonna sit there and I don't know. Oh my gosh!
I just realized how many freaking former Flyers there are in this series. There's a ton. You got Bellemare, you got Giroux, you've got Gudis, you've got Bobrovsky, you've got what's his name? Elliott, who's the backup for Vasilevsky.
Patrick Maroon.
Patrick. Oh my God, he was. Wait.
Patrick Maroon was drafted by the Flyers.
Holy shit! I totally blanked on that. Holy shit! I forgot all about that.
Patrick Maroon went to Anaheim. I want to say in the deal that brought Joffrey Lupul over.
Ah, that might explain it. Okay.
Which would be ironic because we'd have Maroon and Falloon at one point. I always get that. Every time somebody talks about Patrick Maroon, I always think of Patty Falloon, man, all the time.
I
Former
love
Shark
Pat
as well.
Falloon. I love Pat Falloon. But jumping back to Pittsburgh here, I think as long as you have Mike Sullivan, Crosby, and Malkin, this team is not going to – I agree with Rob. You're going to see a dip, but you're not going to see him fall. I do think that, as long as you have your core as much older as they are, you still have that younger nucleus that's already there together too, and being led by Jake Ensel. But I mean, they're still young enough in certain positions that they're still in a very effective team. You have a fairly young goaltending duo. You have Pedersen, who's been pretty good. Jake Gensel, obviously. Jason Zucker's still relatively young. They still have effective players, and they all know the system well. They all know the system well, and they all succeed under Mike Sullivan's coaching system. And as long as he's there, this team is going to always be a threat. Everybody slept on the Penguins all season long, myself included. So obviously I was wrong. I didn't see Pittsburgh making the playoffs. They made the playoffs. They ran into a Game 7, which in a series that they should have probably won. But, I see them – I don't see them being much worse than they were this year.
Yeah. It'll be – we'll have to see what happens. Again, I'm on the maybe. Maybe they miss by 1 or 2 points, but also maybe they make it. It's hard to tell with Pittsburgh right now because they're in that spot where they're still competitive, and that's not changing yet. Let's see, Lil Ava saying, didn't watch the Flyers this year after December. I hope I can be a fan again. I was a fan for 46 years. It was a tough year. It was a very, very tough year. Hey, what's up, Pete?
It's good to hear from you. What's up, Pete?
Oh, yeah.
He also said agree to the poll. And with that,
looks like a no-call slash on Corey Perry. Perry sitting on the bench in a little bit of pain.
well, yeah, Fat Baloo.
I love it. And Lava, yeah, the door's always open for you. That's what's great about the Flyers family. You know what I mean, how many people have ostracized themselves and came back to the organization?
Mackenzie Weegar almost with an opportunity.
That was nice. Yeah, that was a really good chance right there. All right, now let's see.
See, that's going to be the difference maker in this series here, boys. Is that speed that the Florida Panthers have? Mackenzie Weegar's a defenseman.
Yeah, very much.
Yep.
So, we talked about our East matchups. Let's transition to the West. Our West matchups. Starting off, I think, because he is here, we should definitely start talking and... Oh, well, thank you, Benny. I appreciate that, man. I will say we have the Battle of Alberta, gentlemen. The Battle of Alberta. Here we go, gents. Pris like, fuck the West. Is that because the Stars got eliminated? It might be because of that. But so, the Battle of Alberta, the Calgary Flames, and the Edmonton Oilers. We haven't seen these two teams meet since the days of Gretzky and Mike Vernon and Lanny McDonald and Yari Curry and such. I mean, that during the golden age of the Flames Oilers Battle of Alberta rivalry. Now these two meet finally, and this time you got the two generational talents of Draisaitl and McDavid on one end. You got Johnny Hockey and Kachuk on the other side. You know, you got Markstrom in goal for the Flames, and you've got Smith in goal for the Oilers. Maybe not exactly like Fleur and Vernon, but still at the same time, you got the Battle of Alberta, gentlemen. This is exciting to see this matchup for the first time in so long. This will be the first time I've actually seen it because, unfortunately, all the other times was before I was born. So with that, hey, I'm excited for it. Oh, gents, what do you think? McDavid and the Oilers, Johnny Hockey and the Flames. What do you expect?
Robbie, I'll let you go first.
I expect a lot of good goal scoring. I mean, despite as good as Markstrom has been this year, I mean, there's some elite level goal scoring, with Draisaitl and McDavid on Edmonton's side. I think it's going to be a really exciting series. It's going to boil down to what Calgary worked for, and that's home ice advantage. And I think this is a surefire 7-game series. So buckle up, Dylan. It's going to get bumpy.
I don't think it hits 7.
You don't think so?
I don't think it hits 6.
I like the disagreeability. I love it.
Me and Dylan talked about this the other day, actually, after the Flames won their game. I have zero faith in the defensive end of Edmonton against this team. I have zero faith in Mike Smith as a goaltender in this series. Calgary is going to give them fits of speed, transition, odd man rushes. Edmonton is a very solid offensive team. Calgary can play the physical end. I don't think Edmonton's going to be able to match up the physicality.
That's a good point. I think they can step up defensively. We saw that in the Kings series, but then again, the Flames are a much tougher test than the Los Angeles Kings.
Yeah, buddy. I mean, the Kings are still an up-and-coming team. You got lack of experience on that side, and the Kings still push it to 7. Imagine what a team like Calgary can do, especially with a very experienced Stanley Cup winning head coach in Daryl Sutter. This Calgary team is extremely dangerous. And I think if they can, obviously, they'll be able to match speed with Edmonton. It's going to be a high-scoring series, I believe, too, Robbie. I think we're going to have very few games with under. I'm going to say under 5 goals a game. So I think we're going to see a lot of goal scoring. But if Calgary can maintain a physical approach on guys like McDavid, and I'm not 100% sure if Draisaitl's going to be playing in this round yet. I don't even know if he played Game 7. I know he's been battling a nagging injury. I don't see it happening. I think Calgary wins the series in 5. I think they manhandle Edmonton the entire series, except for maybe one game, because it's Connor McDavid. You can't keep him off the scoreboard.
Right. Sure. No, I get it. And it's logical, and it could definitely go down that way. I think bear in mind to what Maddie's point is that this is the first time you've seen this battle in a while, and the crowd effect and people playing above what we see on paper. Dylan said on paper it should be 5, but it's going to go 7, and I think that's the reason why. It's just, I mean, how can you not get geeked up? You're playing at home in front of Edmonton against Calgary. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, you're gonna play like the best hockey of your life right now. You shit or you get off the fucking pot.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then this is something to be amped up about. This is a huge rivalry, and like to Maddie's point, it goes back a long time. Great players being a part of this rivalry. But like I said, man, I have zero faith in their defense. I have less than zero faith in Mike Smith against a very tough, very smart, very fast Calgary Flames team.
Dylan saying, as long as the Flames stay out of the box and put the same offensive pressure they had against the Stars, it should be an easy series for the Flames. So he thinks that the Flames could take control over this series. One thing that the Flames could do, they do like to throw the body a little bit, so that might be good against Edmonton. But at the same time, though, Edmonton's offense can counter it if, you try to throw the body around, but you're missing your checks and you're missing your assignments. They can easily then be worked around. Also, Connor McDavid, he has a habit of just swerving in and out like he's going through traffic lanes without any real problems and just scoring goals.
Skating around people like they're like he's the Flash on ice and people are frozen in time.
Yeah.
What's up, Jesse? Yeah,
Jesse?
I do agree with you to an extent, but I think there's one of the two. I mean, you know what? I think both series in the West have a chance to be exciting, and I'll save my commentary for the Avalanche Blues when we get there. But I don't know. I think I'm going to disagree with Jesse. I begrudgingly, because as good as the matchups are, Battle of the Sunshine State, Florida and Tampa, I think Carolina Rangers is going to underwhelm, and I think the Avs Blues series is going to overwhelm, and I'll tell you why in a bit.
And to real quick to Dan's prediction of Edmonton and Carolina, that was 2006, bro. It wasn't 2007. 2007 was Anaheim and Ottawa.
That was it.
2006. You were close.
That was a great series, though, between Edmonton and Carolina. It went all the way to 7, and Edmonton, of course, made that unbelievable run. Carolina also kind of making an unbelievable run.
Yeah.
I didn't really think anybody was thinking Carolina was going to do it, honestly.
That was Prongs in Edmonton, right? And then he went to Anaheim the following year and won it with you guys. Yeah.
Yep, and Roddy was still playing, and he was the captain of the Hurricanes at that time.
I loved getting his mindset when he was on with us, when going from, like, what was your mindset going from 2006 to 2007? It's just hearing his thought about that. Definitely go back and watch that when we had Chris Pronger on the show. That was such a fun interview.
For sure.
Yeah, it definitely was.
And Dan, I'd love to get your take on Chris Pronger, how you feel about him from coming from that fan base.
Yeah. And Troy, what's going on, brother?
What's up, Troy?
And Jesse saying, like I've been saying, Avs Lightning final. That would be an intriguing final, to say the least. And then let's see here.
I know this all has to go through Carolina.
Dan, he's like, okay, 2006. Until it's saying Draisaitl.
You got me.
He gets himself.
Dylan saying Draisaitl, Kane, Nugent Hopkins missed practice today for the Oilers. That's huge. Ooh, that is huge. Tanev skated for the Flames today. He missed Game 7, and 750K legend Michael Stone has really performed well filling in this series. Interesting.
Like, that's the other thing, too, is Calgary is a much deeper team than Edmonton is.
Yeah.
That's 3 huge names right there. That's about 75% of the offense right there.
Yup.
And then the other 25% is Connor McDavid.
Yup. Yup. That's not a good thing. Jesse saying Carolina Avs both win in 6. Interesting. So has Carolina beaten the Rangers in 6 and have the Avs beaten the Blues in 6. And Ryan Swoop saying Mark Recchi traded to Carolina. Yeah. Mark Recchi was there. And then Doug Waite. Yep, Dougie Waite. Everybody remembers Doug Waite. How could you forget?
Recchi is currently a available coach.
He is.
That out there. He was fired from relieved of duties from the New Jersey Devils. What a hit.
Oh, yes, I just saw it. I'm actually a little bit behind you there.
Come on.
Oh, Ryan McDonough's going to the box. Huge opportunity.
Recchi and Toppy on the same coaching staff. Let's go.
Former teammates, now coach mates.
Usually past ways a lot, though. They didn't really spend. Did they spend any time together on the Flyers?
They did.
Very minimal.
In the early 2000s when the Tocchet came back to the Flyers and Recchi did too. Yeah. I think it was very short, though, because I think it was maybe like a handful of years. I don't think it was very long.
Two seasons back.
I gotta ask you guys. They're calling interference on this. Akari caught the puck and then got absolutely smacked by Ryan McDonough. They called it interference penalty. Did you call that interference?
I know, right? Well,
Technically had possession of the puck.
I know. I've always. Yeah, I think we can. The guy I follow on YouTube, the hot guy, said it best. Interference is the most. It's the most inconsistently called call in the league. I think we can agree on that. There's a lot of times where one thing might look like interference and is not called, and then the other thing does look like interference but isn't called at all. You know, it's like, what the hell is going on? Like, one was interference and the other one wasn't. Oh, let's see. Dan saying, Brian, what's with the baseball rag on? It's a hockey show.
I like baseball too. I'm not allowed to like baseball.
Well,
Don't worry.
what people don't know is
I got my hockey stuff on.
Yeah. He's got a backup plan.
Plus, he works for the team.
High game.
Yeah.
Anthony Duclair again.
2
Second
goals
of the game.
tonight. Yeah, right. You were saying, Robbie. 2 goals tonight. Nice.
Godfather in the building. Tommy, what's up, brother?
What's up, Tom? And yeah, what's up? Really, really fun game here. 2-2 here in the third period. We might get, still early. It's 8:05. But hey, gents, we might get some free hockey out of this.
Repping my employer there, Tommy. What you think?
As soon as I popped on the stream, I went, "Yo, Crash, what's up?"
He did, and little did I know, Crash Davis is actually a real person. I didn't know that. I found that out. I swear to God, he's a real person. I swear to God. The guy in the movie, obviously that Kevin Costner played, that Crash Davis was based loosely off of the real Crash Davis.
It's awesome.
Interesting. And then
yeah, nobody asked your opinion on that.
What's up, Don?
What's up, Joe? Don, my guy.
Yep. And Don saying he wants you to change your shirt.
You want me to do it live on air for you, Don?
Fulfill his wishes. Brian's now going to join the flash mob, but not the flash mob you're thinking of.
When did Hockey Happy Hour become the Blue Oyster Club? Come on.
That was actually just on the other day.
Nice.
Person saying, I need the Panthers to win, so I still have a reason to watch this shit. Priz is just depressed right now, man. He is not happy with the Stars being gone. And I get it. I've been there. After plenty of time seeing the Flyers and the Sharks get eliminated, it's like, why the fuck do I care now?
John Cooper is challenging the goal.
For high sticking or for puck being out of play?
Not necessarily sure. Goaltender interference, maybe?
Oh, the puck hit the safety netting. So, yeah, the puck was out of play.
Mm-hmm.
So this goal's coming back. Oh,
I didn't know that was reviewable.
It's interesting.
I mean, it should be. I agree. Yeah.
I guess they added it in one of the off seasons with the coaches challenge. Yeah, but that puck hit the safety netting. So yeah, this bad boy's coming back. We do not have a tied game.
Oh damn.
Yeah, it's coming back.
That sucks.
It's 2-1. But I mean, that puts Florida back on the power play. So I love the fans that are like, "What? Huh?" It's clear as day.
It was obvious, yeah. But listen, fans. I think Doc said it best. Fans watch with their heart, not with their eyes, and I think that's that case. The one little girl. Oh my God, the little girl's face. She was just like, "Huh? The puck can go out of play? What's this weird game of hockey? That's stupid."
I mean, it gives Florida a minute and 25 on the back on the power play. So this could be a tie game in the next any moment.
You're right.
They announced no goal, and all you hear is a stadium full of people go, "Eh?"
The call not in our favor. Boo! It's a call that's legit. Boo!
Oh,
No, it went out of play. It doesn't matter. Boo!
Prism saying the shit.
No, it didn't. Yes, it did. Look right here. Look right here on your monitor. You clearly see it's out of play.
Oh.
fan bases make my head hurt.
The Dodgers saying, who y'all rooting for, Panthers or Lightning? My heart's still with the Panthers just because of G and Thornton. You know, I'd like to see those guys get a cup. They both deserve it so bad. I mean,
for anybody that's up against Tampa.
So there you go.
I'm going to answer your question with a question, Don. Have you seen that commercial for the Stanley Cup playoffs? It starts with the Rangers, used to be the Penguins, but now they subbed in the Lightning, and then ends with G just 1-1. How can I not root for the Panthers? Come on.
Yeah.
You just look at it's like the pain, the anguish on his face. He's like, my God, I'm thirsty and I just want to sip. Come on. You know what I mean? Like the drive, I'll get into that in a bit. Absolutely, Maddie.
But the thirst you're thinking about isn't for drinks. Hey, listen. No, not even that.
We talking about over here. We talking about.
I zoned out for a second. I zoned back in, and that's all I hear out of Maddie's mouth. I'm like, what?
The person saying
Tim Taylor impression. Huh? Still.
Person saying not just the Stars, it's the Kings as well. This bullshit, the bullshit headshot on Glendening and the constant goalie interference non-calls feels like the NHL set up this Canadian series by hook or crook. I will say some goaltender interference calls had me a little. Yeah. What did you say?
Oh, never mind.
Oh, I was going to say though, I will say there were a couple of goaltender interference calls I was scratching my head on, and a couple of non-calls on them. Like, okay, so did you guys forget how to call goaltender interference? Because there's a couple times where it wasn't. So, and you called it. I'm just saying, guys. I know it's a hard job. I know you got a split second to make a decision, but guys, I get it. Just relax a little bit. I mean, obviously, if the goalie gets clearly impeded, but even then, it's like I see guys kind of let it go. I'm like, okay, then why don't you let it go earlier? You called the shit earlier. What the fuck?
Good play. Turn and go.
All right. Yeah, let's see here.
3-on-2. Oh,
what a save by Vazzy on that one. Nice pass to the slot with the shot, and he kicked the pad out.
Play by Verhaeghe.
Yeah, it was a very good play. And Connor Verhaeghe, getting that OT winner, by the way. Priz, you should be happy about that, dude. Verhaeghe, the love of your life, Connor Verhaeghe, man. He got that OT winner to end that series for him, win it for the Panthers against the Caps. Just saying. Something positive in.
It's not enough bright light for man. Look at what this man's gone through, the horrors of the Habs.
Yeah.
The Blackhawks kind of almost teasing you like maybe they're back, and then they fall. And then now Dallas losing in the playoffs. Stay strong, Priz. Always reach out on our Twitter chat. Use it like a hotline. We're here for you.
The hockey happy hour.
I hope they're not calling. I really hope they're not calling a penalty on Forsling there.
Oh boy, we'll have to wait and see from the commercial break. And to be fair, most of the fans in the building don't know what the hell the game is.
Yo, what's this dinosaur special?
I know, it looks cool, right? It's
I don't have Apple TV.
And it's with David Attenborough too, which is actually really cool.
That breaks my heart. I'm gonna have to get Apple TV now.
But you do have Disney Plus, right?
Yes.
Are they? Tell me it's true. Are they bringing back Rescue Rangers?
It's a movie.
Oh, it's a movie. Okay,
it's a movie.
Still,
yes,
that's excellent.
Yeah. It takes place. It supposedly takes place a few years after the show, the original cartoon ended. So it's not
what
like
a legit plot! Holy
like
shit! What?
So it's like it takes place after the series. So it's like years later, and they've spent time apart. Like it looks, the concept of the movie looks really good.
Yeah, it does sound good.
I'm gonna check it out. I forget when it's supposed to release, but I'm definitely gonna watch it. I still need to watch Uncharted too. I haven't watched that yet.
Dylan saying Panthers are 0 for 21 on the power play in the playoffs. That's a major problem. That is a major problem. They should be looking to remedy that. Yeah, they called the penalty.
I don't think there should have been a penalty there. I don't. There looked like a little bit of incidental contact. If they called that high sticking, I'm not going to be happy with that call because there was no high stick there.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, but before we move on to the Wild and the Blues, I just want to give a congratulations to the Oilers for one thing and one thing only. You finally won a fucking playoff series. It took you how many tries, but you finally managed to pull it off. Good job. Now, we'll see if you got enough to get through Calgary. But all the same, at least you won yourself a playoff series. It's only the second time they've ever won a playoff series with Connor McDavid. So that's a big,
remarkable.
That's crazy. So the only two victims that have suffered at the hands of Connor McDavid and the Oilers are the Sharks, and now it is the who they beat in the first round? The Kings. Duh.
Yeah.
Seems to be that they know how to beat California teams. Now they got to figure out how to beat Canadian teams and the Blackhawks too, because they couldn't beat them apparently. So
they're like screaming down the coast. Take that, you stupid hippies.
Okay, never mind. I take that back. There was a high stick there.
Oh,
High stick.
damn near
Legit.
cross check right in the face.
I
Damn.
mean, that was incidental contact. I don't know if I would have necessarily called that, but I could see that being called now, and that I'm actually like seeing the replay in a little bit slower motion.
Got to be careful with the stick there. I know, like you were saying, though, incidental contact, but the refs will always go to you got to control your stick. Let's see here. What am I skipping? I'm not skipping you. Wait a minute. What do you mean I'm skipping you? What, on
Skip
the Oilers?
him. Keep skipping him.
What do you mean I'm skipping you? Am I skipping you on what, comments or on the Oilers?
He made it crack at me about being one of those fans that changes jerseys or whatever.
Oh.
And I don't think you ever showed that on the screen, and now he's crying about it. Like, you know.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't even see it. I'll be honest with you. I didn't even see it.
He's crying like he always does. He's a Canucks fan. Leave him alone.
Daddy, check your ego at the door, man. We ain't got time for that.
Dylan saying, "Hey."
Skipping me.
Dylan saying, "Hey, it took us 7 years too. Our third time since 2004. It's been a struggle, huh?" I can't deny that. But hey, you guys though, you had that big win in the qualifier a couple years back. The Oilers couldn't even do that right. So there you go.
Hey, Don, we might skip your comments, but you're always number one right here, brother.
Oh, and there we go.
Here.
It's 3-1. 3-1 for the Lightning. They get that goal on the power play. This is what happens when you do parades to the box. And I believe that was Kucherov. Yes, it was. Got himself a nice goal. And it's 3-1 Lightning.
Watching the replay now, I missed the goal. Oh, he just sniped it. He just went stick side.
Yeah, he got him
He
good.
just sniped it. Great job at screening. Who was that? Sorelli?
Yeah.
Great screen. Great screen there by him. Who's why is Gudas backing off? Clear that's
Man, I could never
get him out of there.
I never could wonder why the Flyers ever traded Gudas. But
He had been playing well for Florida, though, to his credit. But
that's
one of those
true.
plays.
That's true. That's true. You're not wrong on that. Let's see here. Ryan saying Carolina and Calgary need to match up in the finals. They both play with nonstop all-out energy. They both look so tireless on the ice. Calgary is more physical, but Carolina more durable. Calgary not far behind, though. I picked Carolina to win, though. Okay. So Swoopy saying that about Carolina Hurricanes.
Swoopy, my guy.
He also says They both lead in the least amount of goals given up, though. Ooh, interesting. That's an interesting little factoid to bring up right there. I like that.
We got
Defense
another
wins
challenge.
championship.
you freaking pansy.
Got another challenge coming up here. They're challenging goaltender interference.
Really? Didn't look like shit. What?
If you watch Sorelli's, like his pad on his pants by the lower spine, if you watch it closely, it does brush his mask.
Oh, come on. That's no. I will not stand for that. That is absolutely ridiculous. It's like, come on
NHL
now.
playoffs. Come on.
Yeah, so now every little time the goalie got just a little touch, and all of a sudden you got to call goaltender interference. I mean, I get it. The coach. Oh, go ahead, Rob.
Apparently, you can just rip players' helmets off. You know what I mean? And that's all good. So it's the playoffs.
God, that wasn't really that bad. I mean, come on. You got to give some leeway here. You can't call every little tiny thing and be so ticky-tacky like that.
That's where sports are moving towards, man. You know, you see it in baseball where a throw clearly beats a runner to the bag, but somehow, you know, the player,
Good goal.
you know, gets the good goal, gets the hand in, and they call him safe through replay. Where like for like 100 years he was out. You know what I mean? It's there's getting it right, and then there's getting it too right, I guess. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I'm glad this wasn't one of those cases.
But
yes.
I mean, if your goaltender's in the blue paint, you can't touch him. Period.
Truth,
you can't touch him, even if it's the lightest little tap. And
Truth.
that's where he was.
I get it. It's just
and
that
Tampa Bay's going back on the power play.
Yeah, I get it. It's just that's just again. It's like it's not like Sorelli could see him anyway. He was in front of him, but it's like so that's more incidental contact too. You're going to get close, you know, and that's just what's going to happen. You're going to be close to the goalie. I mean, I could understand if, like, Sorelli's skate caught Bobrovsky's pad and dragged him. Like, okay, yes, I could give you that one. That's not right. He literally dragged him off of where he needed to be. But he could have stopped that still. Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, I mean, was it a good goal? Yeah. Was it probably the most minuscule touch ever? Yeah. But I mean, can a goal? I mean, put yourself in that position. Would you be able to make a save if somebody made contact with your head?
Probably not, but at the same time, though, I mean, that's just that didn't seem like it was a whole lot. For me, goaltender interference needs to be called when it clearly 110% that should absolutely be called, and that just didn't seem like that was necessary. You know,
No, but again, the rule is you can't touch the goaltender, period, when he's in the blue paint, period.
And if that's the case, then they got to bring back the skate in the crease rule. You know, it's like, all right, fine. Let's just make that borderline again, where if you're anywhere near that blue paint and your skate touches it, boom, goal automatically does not count. If you're going to do it, go all the way with it then. So that way, incidents like that do not happen.
Yeah, but I mean, to me, if your skate's in the blue paint, it doesn't matter to me as long as you're not hitting that goaltender.
Either way, it's going to be one of those calls where obviously Panthers fans are going to say that should have been called goal interference. Yeah, nice hit there, and a chance for the Panthers, but unblocked off. But
that pretty much, I think that goal locked up this game here. I mean, unless they can score here before the I'd say the 1.5-minute mark, so that gives them a little under a minute to score. Nope, that's game. Ross Colton, Jersey boy.
There we go. So Russ Colton getting that goal. That should be the game winner right there. 4-1 now, and the Lightning are going to take game one here in the series.
Yeah, I mean, they got away from that aggressive nature on the penalty kill, and they allowed time and possession in their zone on the penalty kill. It allowed Tampa to get set up, and, you know, they took shots, put pucks on net. Creative rebounds. It was, you know, that's what Tampa does. You know, they were the best team on the power play in the regular season for a reason. And imagine if Braden Point was in this game.
Yeah. John Don saying, Jesus Christ, who constructed this Lightning team? Maybe it was Jesus. Because this Lightning team just doesn't quit.
That place is empty.
Oh, they know. They know that it's over. I don't blame them. They want to beat the traffic, albeit, though, with how empty it is, I highly doubt they're going to beat the traffic now. Since everybody had the same idea at the same time. The smartest people are the one that are waiting and just going to let the game finish out. So that way they do miss the traffic when they get out because they're getting out late.
I mean, like, is this series over? Far from it.
Yeah.
Is Florida going to make the adjustments? Yeah, absolutely. I think they're going to make the adjustments. Andrew Brunette is a very smart hockey mind, and going back and even to his playing days, he was a very smart player. He's going to make the adjustments. They're going to be smarter come the next round. Because this team, you got to stay out of the box. You got to stop making with the dumb penalties, and it all started with Ben Sherratt in the first period when he headbutted. I guess it was Ross Colton. He headbutted.
Wow, and Dylan pointed it out.
You got to.
Yeah.
Got to stay out of the box.
Yeah, and Dylan says it best here. 3 of 4 on the power play. Panthers can't score on the power play. This series will be over quick if that isn't fixed. And you're right.
Agree, Dylan.
Yeah. Special teams will kill you.
Got some breaking news for around the league while I stepped away. Compliments of Ted on Twitter.
Ooh. Okay, then.
At less than Ted. Give him a follow.
Nice. Ted also said G should have went to the Avalanche.
G didn't want to go to the Avalanche.
No, he did not. He only wanted to go to Florida. Ted saying, do they share the same building? No, they do not. Tampa has their own arena.
Yeah, Tampa's is obviously up in Tampa Bay, and then the rank they're playing at now, where the Florida Panthers plays in Sunrise, which is down near Miami. Yeah,
because they used to play in the Miami arena, which is the whole reason for the rat story, because the Miami arena was a shithole by the time they were there. So,
here it's a really nice arena, really good arena to go see a hockey game.
When Sunrise?
Yeah, the new one here.
Yeah, the new one. Yeah, I've heard that too.
I'm surprised they didn't go to Miami like the Marlins did. Kept the Florida Panthers, and they made that move.
Yeah. Probably couldn't get the city to back it, so they just said, "Screw it, we'll go to the outskirts of the city." Screw it.
Miami Panther. I know it doesn't have a bad ring to it. Actually, now I say it out loud, but Florida Panthers kind of has a nice ring to it.
Yeah, I could not imagine calling them the Miami Panthers. I would rather just call them the Florida Panthers.
Good shot selection there by G.
Dan saying, "I need to control the comment button. Why? Because I skipped you."
Well, put something that's actually a good take up there. Maybe we'll actually show your comment. It's not a jab at somebody on this panel.
Oh, all right.
Just like the game of Uno, you've been skipped.
Fucking hate that game, but I love it so much.
I hate it when someone runs the deck on you. They get all the freaking skips and the draw twos and the shit like that. God damn it!
Don. So he's on point tonight.
This is, guys, please stop skipping us. We deserve better. Don saying we're going on strike. You can't go on strike. What union do you have?
Yo, I gotta ask you boys a question here. Don, I want your take on this too, bro. How did Lucas Raymond not wind up a finalist for the Calder Trophy?
Yeah, that's surprising.
The 3 people that deserve it are there, but I think Lucas Raymond needs to be there. I think they should have made an exception and gave him 4.
I assume Mo Sider's one of them.
Yeah, Mo Sider's one of them.
Yeah, it's probably like the duel from like 2 teams, like, you know what I mean? Which it shouldn't be, you know what I mean? Like, it's legit best rookie in the league. Shouldn't matter that they happen to be teammates, but almost like, like that all-star syndrome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was Sider, it was Zegras, and I'm blanking on who the other one was.
Don said,
but it should have been. It should have been Lucas Raymond should be on that list. I don't care if it's 2 members of Detroit Red Wings. Lucas Raymond deserves to be on that list. I believe he finished the season leading all rookies in points.
Don saying, yeah, they gave it to that old fart.
Oh, Michael Bunting.
Michael Bunting, yeah. All three guys deserve that to be on that list, but Raymond, I would have given the nod to Raymond to get the Calder.
And he's saying, human personification of Spotify. Ted's saying, like the year Ghost didn't win the Rookie of the Year. Yeah. Boy, those were some interesting times. Those were magical times when we thought the Flyers were going in a good direction.
Yeah, remember our defense was can't miss? We drafted so well.
Yep. Oh, boy, those were the days. Michael Bunting is 28.
Yeah, true.
How is that fair?
I mean, because he's a rookie. It doesn't matter the age. By class, he's a rookie. Never played an NHL game until this year. Although I don't know how true that is.
I think they do have a cutoff. I think they do have a cutoff mark, which is 30. And the reason why is because I forget what Soviet player came over and he won Rookie of the Year at 35. So I think they did put a cutoff on 30.
I mean, they didn't do it in baseball. Chris Costa was a rookie at 33 years old.
Although I think, baseball is a little different in that, you get a lot of guys who make their first appearances in the season, play 100 some odd games, and a lot of pitchers make their first appearances and such like that, So,
looks like Dan's taking his ball and going home. Oh, bye, Dan.
Later, I'm too good for this. No ego, all facts.
I like that comment, though.
Oh, don't forget your tissue.
Meanwhile, he's hanging with Ethan Page over there, all ego.
Yeah. Dylan's saying, no, let's go. Now let's go Avs. If the Blues suck, Kachuk won't want to go there. And then Dylan saying Matt Reed was a solid 26-year-old. Oh, yeah, he certainly was.
Yeah, he was pretty much there. I thought he was 24 when he came up, but, 26, that could be right.
He was a solid 26-year-old. Too bad he wasn't a solid 27 or 28-year-old.
No, you ain't going nowhere. You better shut the hell up. You're with us till the end, bro.
Don, you ain't leaving, Don. By the way, where the fuck is your membership logo? Yeah, I don't see that nowhere.
I haven't seen that for a while.
And also, where's your appearance on this show? Still hasn't happened yet.
Well, until he gets that tag back, he can't.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, what the hell happened with that?
What?
Sasha and Naomi.
They
apparently they grabbed their bag and they left on Monday Night Raw.
They obviously didn't like what they were given from creative. They said, well, that's bullshit. They did what Austin did back in 2002. Oh, if that's what we got, fuck you, we're leaving. And they took their ball and went home.
Dude, they're the freaking women's tag champs. What are they complaining about?
I don't know. Sasha's had a history of having issues, so it's not the first time. Naomi, I know
she was in the six-pack for the freaking women's championship last night.
I don't fucking know, man. I couldn't tell you.
You're a wrestling guy. You're supposed to help.
Dude, listen, I haven't really been watching WWE because honestly, I have no energy to watch WWE. It's too bad to watch. It's that bad. Even I can't watch it. I swear.
But they got Cody.
Yeah, they got one good thing, and I'm supposed to jump and join the bandwagon all of a sudden.
Is it really good?
AEW to go back.
Honestly, I couldn't even tell you.
He abandoned his baby at AEW to go back to the WWE.
I know, right? It's fucking crazy. So how about those stars? Where's Priz when you need them?
True.
Ted saying there was a report that they were supposed to win too. Really? They walked out on a win. Damn, they really must not have liked what the direction was. Holy shit! That makes
sense, and makes me wonder that it was actually kind of written into the storyline that they were supposed to walk out.
Maybe. Who knows? Maybe it is a kayfabe thing.
That's kind of what I'm thinking it is. There's a I thought he had a goal.
It looked good, yeah. Don saying, no more Sailor Moon Bri.
I know, that upsets me. I love when she dresses like that. I love Sasha Banks. She's so sexy.
Yeah.
I love her.
Listen.
I love her.
Listen, that was my turf before you started butting in.
Well, you abandoned her.
I did not abandon her.
Yes, you did.
No.
Yes, you did.
No, I did not.
The moment you went to AEW, just like this guy over here, you abandoned her. She needed comfort. And you know who was there? This guy.
Did she
Tell me
kick
I'm
Picking up
wrong.
the pieces.
Oh, maybe Naomi got Sasha. Okay, that's kind of a funny comment. I'm not gonna lie. That's actually pretty damn funny.
I want to watch that. Where's
That's
that video?
funny.
Give me
That's
that
funny.
video.
Hashtag Brindy. Eileen's already got her turf marked out. Ain't no one else allowed to go.
She's had Brenda Moore on lockdown for a while. You better stop that.
Eileen's like, go Canes.
Nice.
And then, let's see. John Laurinaitis is the new women's tag team champion. Yeah, I think he could qualify, being the fucking dipshit that he is.
I was going to say, is he even still with the WWE?
I'd be shocked because he's such a piece of fucking shit.
I would say,
But anyway.
I want to say, like, if they vacated that belt, give it to Lit. I know we're a hockey show talking wrestling right now, but it is what it is. I blame somebody for putting that up in the. Oh, who is it? Ted, who put it up in the comments. I blame him. It's his fault. I would say give it to Liv and Rhea, but they're kind of head to head right now, and I love every bit of that storyline going on right now. But anyway,
Ted's like, come on, Eileen, I swear it was me.
oh boy.
So, all right, gents. Since we got this series on now here in the first,
And St. Louis just scored.
Well, there you go. The Blues off to a hot start. Was from the captain of the team,
Ryan O'Reilly.
Yeah, making things happen. And it's 1-0 Blues here in the first period. So, gents, I know Rob's got a lot to say about this series. He previewed it and teased it a little bit earlier. Blues and Wild. God, boy, I'm out of that. Blues and Wild. That's been a minute since then. The Blues and the Avs. So the Blues did beat the Wild, the team that I thought was going to go places. Turns out the Blues said, no, Matt, you're a fucking moron, and we're going to tell you why, because we're going to win this game, and we're going to win this series in 6. And then the Avs, on the other hand, boy, I don't even know if that was a series. They just said, oh, hi, Nashville. Hi, Catfish people. Hey, listen, between you and me, we're sorry we got to do this, but we're going to spank you for 4 games. I'm sorry. Listen, we want to win a cup. We got embarrassed last season. It's not you. It's us. Sorry. And they just proceeded to, do what they do best, and that's absolutely, choke a bitch and just take care of business in 4 games. And now, here we are, the Avs and the Blues, the team coming off of a sweep with a lot of rest. And I always say, double-edged sword those sweeps are. Could be building up rust, or could be that you've just turned on the freaking buzzsaw and you're going. We'll see what we get in this series on that. But for the Blues,
we hit the post.
For the Blues, tough series with the Wild. They came out on top, putting away the young team. Gents, what do you got in this series for me?
This is going to be a hard hitting. There's a lot of bad blood here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it Jordan Binghamton who took a stick swipe at Nazem Kadri back in the day? So there's not a lot of love between these two teams. This is going to be a fierce series. Already it just kicked off, and how many times have we cut to it already? I think this has a chance to be the series of the second round that people aren't paying attention to, for sure.
No, I agree with you, Robbie, 100%. I think this is going to be a more intriguing series and a much better series. Oh, Kyrou blew a tire.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a really good series. I think if any team has the opportunity to bounce Colorado, I think the St. Louis Blues are that team. They are very detail-oriented. I'm not the biggest fan of Bennington, but he's a solid goaltender. He's got a good defense in front. One of the things, and we're seeing it early, but I think we're going to see an adjustment come the second period. Colorado is a fast transition team. We know this. We know that there is speed on St. Louis's side, but we also know St. Louis plays a physical nature. I think we're going to see, especially come the second period now, we're going to see a much more physical St. Louis team, and I think that's going to slow down Colorado a lot. But again, with the same situation with the Carolina Hurricanes, this Colorado team is extremely deep. They got Darcy Kemper back. Fortunately, nothing serious with his eye after taking a stick blade to it in that Nashville series. So good to see him back. Good to see that he still has sight in it.
Yeah, certainly.
Always good to see. Scary moment when that happened, but I think this series is going to go deep. I think it's going to go 6 or 7. Who's going to win it? I still don't know yet. But I wouldn't be surprised if Colorado chokes this away.
Yeah. Eileen, you have a good night. You be well. Ted, Brian, Maddie, and blank. I feel like this is a trick question.
Always Pove. It's always Pove. He's
I know.
the leg of this tripod.
Yeah. We can't stand without him.
We could. We just wobble. Be stability.
It's like a gift. It's like I can't even control it.
Ted saying, I miss Flyers playoff hockey. And now the tripod shrivels up.
I don't know about that part. I don't have anything shriveling up on me yet.
Well, when
I'm
you
still
mentioned
too young.
It's all right. They have medication for that. Dylan saying Kemper is the only weak spot on Colorado in the playoffs. I wouldn't put him as a top 5 goalie in the playoffs. Igor, Vazzy, Bob, Ranta, and Markstrom.
Yeah,
No. Not even. I don't even know if I would put Ranta in that.
Yeah, true.
I don't know if I would put Ranta in that. I think I would put Bennington over Ranta.
I would agree on that. I like what Ranta's doing right now, but Ranta, I don't know. That's a lot of high praise on Ranta. I don't know if he's had a good season. He's had a great season, but I'm not so sure about that.
He put. I mean, I'm not even going to sit here in front of you. He put New York on his. Sorry, not New York. He's not a Ranger anymore. He put Carolina on his back and won that series for them.
He did.
But now, and I'm not 100% sure if he's starting game 1, but with Frederick Anderson coming back, he's going to take a back seat.
That's why I think
I can't put him in the top 5.
I think the show would be better if you add one more person. Don, pay
Who's
the
that person?
$9.99 and get your ass on this show. That's what we need from you.
Oh, I didn't know they split the playing time so even down the middle in the Wild Series. 3 games apiece between, yeah.
Did they really? Between who?
Bennington and Ville Husso, sorry.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I thought they were running Bennington the whole time.
Man, unless these stats I'm looking at are wrong. I admit I didn't watch too much of the Blues Wild series. That's why I was looking it up. I always wanted to see like who they were really rolling with. So, I mean, I know Bennington has the playoff experience.
Yeah, no, I thought they were running with Bennington too. I didn't realize that they had Husso playing games either. That's interesting. That usually doesn't work out in anybody's favor.
I mean, I get why they were doing it.
But the league started trending that way, though. I mean, like I had said that on a couple of shows that when you have 2 goaltenders, you have none. But the tandem kind of ways. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, you look at Florida, they got Bob. You look at Tampa Bay that we saw tonight with Vasilevsky. You know what I mean? Usually, you still have to have the guy that you're going to in crunch time. But utilizing the tandem seems to be a new trend in hockey.
Yeah, it is. But if you still look at the past winners, they all have that number 1 guy. They all have that guy to lean on. I mean, I get like I mean, even if you want to go back to when Pittsburgh won back-to-back, they relied heavily on Marc-Andre Fleury 1 year or Matt Murray 1 year, and then did they do the tandem? Yeah, in the first couple of rounds, but then they stuck with Matt Murray, and then they wound up winning another cup. St. Louis, they ran with Bennington when they won the cup. Full on. Who was Washington's goaltender?
Real quick, Brian, I think they might roll with Bennington because if you look at the stats, in the 3 games, he's got a 167 goals against and a 943 to Husso with the 302, 906.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the smart thing if I'm the head coach of St. Louis right now. I'm you got to rock the hot goaltender,
right?
I mean, St. Louis has done it in the past with Jake Allen and Brian Elliott. They used to do that, so it's not unheard of for them to try it again. I don't necessarily like the idea of doing that because, like you guys were saying, sometimes you got to ride that hot goalie, and it doesn't always help by subbing them in and out. But St. Louis does have a history of it with Jake Allen and Elliott, so it just kind of adds to that history of tandeming.
Yeah, thanks, Benny. Yeah, Holtby. Braden Holtby was the number 1 guy in Washington when they won.
Right.
You got to rely on these number 1 guys to get you through the playoffs. You got to rely on your franchise guys in the playoffs to get you where you want to go. Because, like I said, for some reason, the tandems don't work because you can't get a guy into a groove. Once you get a guy into a groove, it's game over. Jonathan Quick. Twice.
True.
Corey Crawford, who was statistically not the best regular season goaltender, but when come playoff time, he threw it in gear. You win Stanley Cups with 1 goalie. You don't win it with the tandem. The tandem will get you far, but it ain't going to get you a win.
I agree with you. Just what I'm noticing, but I do agree with you.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. The trend is happening. It's happening before our eyes, whether we wanted to or not. But there's going to come a point where that trend is going to eventually break what I'm saying right now. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Don's like, wait a minute, what? Ride a hot goalie? Well, the Flyers haven't had one in a long time, right? So that I can understand the confusion of that. But at the same time, though, I mean, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do in the playoffs sometimes. Look at what Quick did. Quick back in, I think it was the second cup or it was the first cup. He got hot in the playoffs, and they rode him all the way to that Stanley Cup Finals. They won themselves a cup. And
Matty likes to ride hot goalies.
It's very weak considering the fact that's an expression. If you're going to actually try and do a dig, you got to do better than that.
I'm done. I'm done for the night.
Yeah.
By the way,
I used up the rest of my energy on Dan.
By the way, Don, why the fuck are you giving Amber Heard access to your fucking bank, bro? What the fuck is wrong with you? Seriously, dude.
Amber Heard give it a whole new definition to shitting the bed, right?
Yeah.
Dude, what a terrible situation that ended up being. I feel bad for Johnny.
What the fuck? That whole thing is just so Hollywood. That whole fucking thing is the most Hollywood trial I think I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, did you ever hear any of her testimony? Dude, it all sounded so fake.
I know, right?
She did better acting in Aquaman, and she was terrible in that movie. She's terrible in really any movie she's done, but it was much better than the shit that she was spitting and spewing in the freaking courtroom. Meanwhile, she had some form of alcohol on her the entire time. I saw that today. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
She had a silver container in her pocket the entire time. And then she had her water.
It's so Hollywood, that trial. Oh, my God.
I legitimately felt bad for Johnny because he was a broken man because of that.
Yeah. I mean, he also is broken man for other things, too. But, yeah, that definitely contributed. A big contribution.
It was all her. It was all her. She fucked him up.
Yeah.
Mentally and physically.
Jesus. Oh,
She's
man.
a psycho and she needs help.
Madonna saying, somebody said on Twitter, I can't believe Aquaman's side piece and Captain Jack is really arguing.
Say Aquaman's side piece?
Yep. Oh, this shit's
That ain't the
great.
side piece, bro. That's the main chorus, man.
Oh, man. Betty said, I learned that pledge and donate mean the same thing. Who knew? Oh, my God. So, between that shit show, we're watching the shit show currently right now. Not really. It's not really a shit show. The Avs feel like it is, though. They're down 1-0 late in the first period. And let's see. Ted saying her shitting on his bed after he's done with this case. He'll go crazy. He'll get crazy poontang.
It's Johnny Depp. Of
I
course
mean,
he is.
he probably would anyway, even during the trial. Oh,
Johnny
man.
Depp, of course he will. You know how many 40-year-old women want him?
Probably more than 40-year-old women.
Probably, but you know. I feel bad. I feel so bad for Johnny, man, that he's in that situation to begin with. Like, he's a broken man. He's not even half of the person that he used to be because of her and her verbal and physical abuse towards him. But anyway, I digress. This is a hockey show.
Ted, try 22 and up.
Ted's not wrong. Ted's not wrong.
Nope.
You're not wrong, Ted. Absolutely. Hold on.
So,
Did that go in? Did it go in?
oh, wait a minute.
McKinnon's hands. His arms are raised. What's going on? That's not the time to go to commercial.
Apparently, it is for TNT. What the hell?
I guess it didn't go in then.
I guess not. All right. So we've gone through the West matchups, the East matchups for the second round. We saw game one between the Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Lightning win game one like they did last year. So we'll see if the Lightning can double up in Florida or in Sunrise before heading out to Tampa, try and take a sweep of the Panthers. I don't think that's what's going to happen.
I mean,
But-
they got that long trip from Sunrise to Tampa, so they're going to need the rest.
Yeah, they're gonna. So game two coming up between Tampa and Florida. That will be on. What is that? It will be on Thursday. Friday? Oh
No,
yeah,
you're
that's right. They're
Thursday.
doing 2 day
You're going
breaks.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Today's Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
It is Thursday. It's every other day.
Gotcha. All right. So Thursday it will be Florida and Tampa game 2. And we'll see who wins that one. Will it be the Panthers tying up the series? Or, like I said before, will it be Tampa doubling up, winning 2 straight games in Sunrise like they did last year? And we're currently watching a game between the Blues and the Avalanche. 1-0 right now for the Blues. Of course, the Hurricanes and the Rangers start tomorrow, along with the Battle of Alberta starts up tomorrow as well. So a lot of excitement here in this second round. Should be very, very fun to see who comes out on top going to their respective conference finals. But now, gentlemen, it is time for us to go around the league. Obviously, we did talk about Peter DeBoer and his firing and how that situation played out. We talked about Barry Trotz and the possibility of him coming to Philadelphia. So a couple of big coaching changes in the NHL, but I believe Rob had some breaking news for around the league. So, Rob, what did you have?
Rob's on break.
Great time, too, right?
It's not that I knew he was on break. I was waiting to see if he'd notice.
No, I
Usually
mean,
when he puts that up, he's not at the computer.
usually, but I wanted to test it. I wanted to see, like, well, maybe he is. Maybe I can catch him in an awkward moment, and it'd be kind of funny.
That was funny regardless. Roscoe, you better stop it. The Lightning are not going to sweep them.
I would be shocked if that happened.
Be
What else has
stunned.
happened in the league? Another coach got fired. Who the hell was it? I don't know. My brain's not spinning. Dude, my brain is legit mush right now. Like my head hurts and work has been hell. And I love my job with Durham. I want that to be my life, but I mean, obviously, this shows my life too. But
Of course.
but yeah, I mean, my
So
brain's mush. I just can't remember what else has happened. A lot's happened over the last few days.
what I could do is I could give my opinion on the draft lottery since I was not here last week.
Yes,
for that.
Yes, do that.
So I will say this. As unhappy as I was to find out that the Flyers moved down to slot, I was like, are you serious? Really? You moved us down one? What the fuck, bro? But at the same time, it's still top 5, so I guess I can't complain too much. You know, it's like, all right, well, it's still top 5. It didn't go
They
down
weren't
like
supposed to
2
get
or
anything
3.
worse than 4.
I
And they
get,
get 5. It was
I-
fucking shady.
I know. It's
The whole thing's
bullshit.
shady.
I know it's bullshit, and the whole thing is broken as hell. But you know what? At this point, I'm not shocked. It's the Flyers. We're not supposed to have nice things. 4th round pick? No, you're settling for 5th, bro. Like, you forgot. You're the Philadelphia Flyers. You don't get nice things. That's just how it fucking works. You know why you haven't had a cup since 75? That's fucking why, bro. You ain't allowed to have nice shit. Now fuck off. That's pretty much
You're getting a nice player at 5. So
Yeah,
I don't
that's
understand
true,
why
you
everybody's
know?
so pissed off
Yeah.
about it.
No,
I mean, like, I get it.
I was just about to say the same thing. You're right.
I mean, you're getting a real like as of right now, as far as the rank. If you went by the rankings from 1 to 5, you're getting Matt Savoy, who is a very nice young player. He needs he may need a little seasoning down in juniors for a year or two, but he's a nice player. Flyers have some nice players coming up, so it's not a terrible situation. You went from 4 to 5. You didn't go from like 2 to 7.
Yeah.
Then you can have a legit gripe
Like,
for one spot.
Like, what is
One
it? 2 years ago, the Red Wings went from the top 3 and found
Yes.
themselves.
They were supposed to. They should have had the number 1 overall, and they wound up picking 4.
Yeah, that was bullshit.
Yes, another great example. One spot. It's one spot. It's one
Still,
spot.
all
You
shady.
still
It
get a-
shows further evidence of how shady the practice is.
Yeah, and you know what? I agree. It's shady the way they do it. It absolutely is. They need to, and I think Rob, you might have been the one to say this. Have the drawing live on air.
Yes.
Get the ping pong balls, get the little machine, get the beautiful woman. Do it the way they do the lotteries, and do it live on the air so it doesn't look as shady. Because there's still going to be some shade behind it.
Sure.
But do it that way. Anyway,
Yeah.
Rob, breaking news.
Yes. Oh yeah. We're to the round league portion. Well, first of all, this is not breaking news, but I did want to throw this up as I bring up the other article that was breaking. What about Mitch Marner getting carjacked? You guys hear about that?
Oh,
And then 3 other friends.
Jesus.
Scary shit at gunpoint. Even though they said the weapons weren't utilized or even pointed or whatever, because they were just like, yeah, fine, take it. You know what I mean? Like, but it's only a material thing. You know what I mean? And obviously he has enough change in the purse to recoup an insurance and yada yada. But still, what a scary experience, and it goes to show that people up in Toronto go nuts when that team loses.
They
They do.
And they were legit like brawls all over that arena that night that they lost. Like I've seen multiple videos of multiple people and they're not even fighting other fans. They're fighting each other. They're fighting each other.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Fan on fan violence. Stop it.
Right.
Stop it. It's a fucking game.
Right.
I get you have the longest tenure without a cup. You have the longest drought without a cup. I get it. You want to see your team succeed. This is like 7 years in a row they've been ousted in the first round. I get it. I get there's frustration there, but it's a fucking game. If they win or lose in the first round, it doesn't change your life.
Right.
It does not change your life.
See, I don't know if it's just that I've gotten older and bitter, from my teams losing, that I just don't get worked up like that anymore,
Same.
or if it's a thing of I got a lot going on for me in my life, that really the consequence of a team winning or losing means a lot less to me now than maybe at one time in my life that it did. And I think a lot of people there, I'm not saying pinpoint Toronto, this is any place where their life is just, they got that boring ass job. They got nothing going on. They're, taking all their money and paying it to the ex-wife, whatever your life looks like, to where that's all they have is the joy of the sport. And when they don't get that, that's when people go crazy.
No, and I get all that. I really do. Like I understand, like, some people have the escape or whatever, and it's like the only good thing they have going on or whatever, but to sit there and get in a fist fight over a loss of a game that really doesn't matter to
Terrible.
you, it matters to the guys on the ice because that's what they literally get paid for.
It's a lifestyle.
You're not getting paid to be a fan. Your life does not change whether they win or lose that game 7. It does not. And yeah, Don, it is a lifestyle. It absolutely is a lifestyle. I get it. I'm in that lifestyle myself. But to get worked up where you're starting fights all over the arena, multiple, stop it. Grow the fuck up.
Agreed.
Grow up.
Agreed.
Stop being a fucking child.
Yep.
Don't piss and moan because your team lost. Your team lost. Boo fucking who. Get over it. You're going to move on, and next year is going to be next year.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I just, I lose my temper when it comes to the Flyers and Sharks. I lose it easy, but it would never get to the point where I would physically attack someone. It's like, don't get me wrong, I've thrown shit. I've thrown shit onto the floor. I have thrown shit at a wall. I've done that, but I would never attack somebody. That's fucking ridiculous. Like, I've been that mad. I haven't gotten to that point. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's out of your mind crazy. It's like, guys, listen. Yes, it sucks, but what are you going to do? There's nothing you can do about it in life. Carjacking one of the players on the team because the team failed to get out of the first round again. What is that going to do to you?
I put
Now,
money on the fact that Carjacker had no idea who he was.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying that's definite, like, situation there. Like, it could have easily been, just a random, like, this guy got a criminal saw an opportunity and took it. Didn't even know, like you said, Brian, who he was or whatever. But it easily could. We don't, you know what I mean? It could be very motivated sports still.
Could have been. No, it absolutely could have been. I'd put money on that. He didn't know who that was even Mitch Marner. He saw
Maybe
an
not.
opportunity. He say, hey, this is a really nice car where you can get some money for it at the chop shop.
Right.
Let's get it.
Yeah. Obviously, he's riding nice wheels. Exactly.
Mhm.
All right, boys. I've teased it long enough. Thanks to Ted again on Twitter at Less Than Ted. Some leaked information has come out furthering the embarrassing news for the Arizona Coyotes. The Coyotes are set to move to the ASU Multi-Purpose Arena in Tempe, Arizona for the foreseeable future. That's a 4,700 seat capacity building.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, they're writing off revenues, furthering the shady. I'm just trying to sum it up. I know we're up against it. Furthering their shady business practices, and they're not even going to be in the deal, the Coyotes have agreed to sacrifice revenue for all the following items: any alcohol or beer advertisements, the Coyotes will not be permitted to sell any temporary advertising that is a competitor or in the same category as whomever ASU sells naming rights to, because all the licensing is going to the Arizona State, to the building complex. So what this means is that they're not even allowed to put their logo on center ice.
That's fucking great. Oh my god, I love it. The Coyotes are so fucking pathetic. I love it. I'm sorry. I got to take joy in that. That's it's a team in worse shape than the
Yeah.
Flyers and the Sharks. That's so much better.
They're not going to be able to generate revenue from advertisements and approve or decline any requests, made by the league. Like basic, they're just sticking a middle finger up to the league. They're so going to get moved.
They're out. They're out.
What the fuck? That is.
I'm not surprised they can't put the logo on in center ice because that's still ASU's. That's ASU's arena.
That is
Their logo is going to be on center ice.
Right. And the league as a whole, like the other fellow owners, where there's revenue sharing, obviously are going to have a lot less revenue coming in. I mean, I don't know how much they were producing as a percentage of the league, but it's less money for all.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. This whole thing is such a fucking disaster. Oh my god, I love it.
It's not even like the Coyotes' fault. It's
the
ownership. Ownership is the biggest issue for that organization. They need to figure some shit out over there.
Sure.
They had. I mean, 90% of this is because they haven't caught up on any of their bills.
Right.
They're not paying their bills flat out. They're just not paying them. That's why they're out of the Glendale Arena. That's why they're moving into a college arena. That's why they have no fan base. They do nothing to support this team or the city or whatever. I don't blame the NHL for this. I don't blame anybody but the ownership or lack of ownership for the Arizona Coyotes. I feel bad for the team. I feel bad for the fan base. I feel bad for the city.
Right. Sure. Say hello to your 2024-2025 Quebec Nordiques.
Possibly.
Basically.
Maybe move another team. Maybe you're looking at the 2023-2024 Houston Aeros.
Oh yeah,
maybe.
I the more I think about that possibility of them moving, I could see Houston. Yeah, I really could see Houston.
That would fit geographically, where you can still keep them out in the West. Yeah, that's not a half bad idea.
And you don't have to go through a whole rigmarole of realigning the league again, where you have to move a team out of the East and put it back into the West. In my opinion, I think Detroit would probably be the first one on the list to get moved back, which would be kind of funny. They were just starting to get competitive in the East.
Right.
Yeah, Seattle
we saw the American Airlines Center rocking in these playoffs. Hockey is thriving in Texas, so might not be a half bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, I could see in Texas. Would I prefer to see another team in Canada? Yeah, I honestly I would. Keep them on the western side of Canada. Figure something out. Maybe Quebec.
Ted's like,
maybe
damn, Brian, you're allowed to laugh. It's not all serious. Fuck them. They don't care.
I don't I'm not. It's not that I don't think it's funny. I think it's more sad and pathetic than it is funny. It's more sad than anything. I feel bad for the fan base. I do. That sucks.
Poor Rosca.
Yeah. What's up, Wills?
What's up, buddy?
Yeah, I mean Hamilton, maybe throw them in Hamilton. Hamilton would be a good fan base. Obviously, like I said, Quebec is an obvious one. Houston's a good one.
Guys, listen. We already know what the answer is. They're going to move the team to Honolulu. Come on now. We already know that this is a foregone conclusion.
Dan had to come back, or he never left.
Yeah.
He cried in a corner while we continued our show. He's got a pile of sad tissues right next to him.
He's like, I need my tears. I use them for
Portland could be an interesting one, Benny.
What's up?
Portland could be an interesting one.
Portland's not a bad idea, because then you have close proximity rivalries between San Jose, Portland, Seattle, Vancouver. You got a four-way rivalry right there up in the northeast area. That isn't a bad option. I like that idea.
Yeah, but my question is, my only thing would be, yes, Dylan, yes, put a team in Alaska. My only question would be, how
Travel
many
would be
people
an
out there
issue,
actually
though.
follow hockey in Portland, Oregon? I feel like they struggle to support that basketball team.
Yeah.
Well, are the Trailblazers good or are they bad?
I mean, they're good, but
Okay.
that's not always going to sell.
Dame Lillard.
Okay.
Let's see how many more times Dan's going to say Victoria, British Columbia. Let's see how many more times he says it, because you skipped him. Stop skipping me.
Victoria, babe.
Ted's like, move him to Morocco. Ah, there you go. Possibilities out there.
Ooh,
Move
that
the NHL to
tough,
Africa.
though.
Yeah. I mean, don't worry. They'll figure it out. If they have hockey in the Middle East, which they actually do.
Listen, that's a beautiful city. I would love that.
Suggesting Alaska makes me think of Mystery Alaska. I'm sorry.
Betty Station saying Portland Winterhawks do all right in the WHL. Well, okay, then there's a selling point. If the Winterhawks do okay,
And they're junior league hockey too, so that's actually not bad if they're doing all right.
Dylan's like the Anchorage Snow Dogs. That's
I'll
not a
put them
bad
in
name.
Juneau.
That's not a bad name.
I'd go right to Juneau, go right to the capital.
Wouldn't be a bad option. Be interesting.
It's got to be a bitch to live out there, though.
Yeah. See,
It's
the
gotta
only
be,
thing
especially in the summer.
the NHL would probably turn that down though because of the travel. They're like, no, weather's too temperamental. We're not doing that.
Well, it's not even that. It's during the summer, like it fucks with you. It fucks with your brain, man. Like that 24 hours of sunlight in the summer, it fucks with you hard.
Yeah. I know that another league had the Alaska Aces, and I forget what league it was for a period of time. I don't think they exist anymore. But I understand why the appeal would be there, because it would, it's Alaska. It makes sense, and NHLers have come from there. Scott Gomez is one of them. So I get it. I don't know. It might be a hard sell for the NHL for Alaska. Ted saying, so Arizona had their logo taken away, right? On the ice, they'll still be wearing their logos looking like a Bush League team, which they are.
Yeah.
So,
I think they could still sell merchandise, obviously not in the arena, but like online and what have you. But you just can't advertise it with it.
I'll be honest with you guys. You might want to buy those Arizona Coyote jerseys. Those might become collector's items real soon. I'm happy I got mine.
Good point. Priz, get to work. He's the collector.
Yeah.
He has a Trevor Zegras card he needs to send me. Where are you at, Priz? Let's talk about that.
Magically disappeared.
Damn it.
And it's a young gun too, so it's gonna be worth some money.
Whoa.
He
I realized
he wants one of my young guns. I think he wants Krill the Thrill. I think I'd give it up.
sense.
I'd take a Zegras. I'd be okay with giving up Krill for Zegras. Dude, my two massive young gun cards being Trevor Zegras and Adam Fox.
Nice. That's nice, yeah.
Money, money, money. Be Shane O'Mac in the money.
Dan saying, move all American NHL teams to Canada. No, because that would include the Flyers. You can't have them. And the Sharks. You can't have them either. You can't have the Ducks. And you can't have the Stars either. Why? Because we like Priz. You can't have the Stars. You can have the Blackhawks. I'll let you have the Blackhawks.
How the fuck is
Meanwhile,
Canada
that
going to
is
take
team.
stars away from the United States? Come on.
Meanwhile, the Blackhawks are his number one team. But you're gonna let him take them, but you're gonna keep the Stars.
Well, listen, I got to give a little bit. It's all about compromise and sacrifice. Sometimes you just got to do it.
Yeah. Like
Hey, just be happy. Yeah, and just be happy you have the teams you have.
They just say players will have to sell concessions between ships. Oh, that's fucking great.
I don't even think there should be any concessions to sell.
Oh my lord. Welcome to the Arizona Coyotes game for the regular season. Here's a bag of popcorn we bought from the local freaking gas station. And here's the soda we got from there too. Have fun, fucker.
Popcorn.
God, if they don't sell that out, I don't know what if they don't sell out that college arena, they're done. They're done. They're out.
Oh.
Exactly.
Dylan saying move them to the very north of Canada and call them the North Pole Elves. Oh, have them have elf ears on the helmet too.
You could always call them the North Pole Caribou too, because they're pretty common up there.
I want to roll with the elves. I think, but we have to have like a real cartoony looking elf too, with a candy cane for the hockey stick instead of the hockey stick.
You know what would be cool, and it worked for the for the NBA in Oklahoma City. You know what I mean, where basketball was really popular, and they cried out for a team, and they eventually got one. What about in the Dakotas? I mean, hockey's huge in North Dakota. You know what I mean? You know, that I mean, obviously that wouldn't work geographically like we were talking about keeping it on the West, but
well, I mean, that would qualify for the Central. You just move a team over to the Pacific. I mean,
no, because Arizona's not even in the Pacific anymore. They're in the Central.
Oh, that's right, because Seattle came into the league. So yeah, you don't even need to make any adjustments. And there is you can put them in Fargo, because there's the Fargo Dome. You can see if you could put a rink in there. I'm sure they play hockey in that arena. You know, you can look at different, areas there and see like, okay, what's the most metropolitan area that has an arena? And let's see if we can do that. I mean, I'm not against that idea.
You need an arena. You can always build one.
Yeah, you can always build one, and people in North Dakota would go to it. It'd be their only pro team, so they definitely would want to go to it. And it's hockey on top of it. I mean, actually, are they even called the Fighting Sioux anymore? No, I think they're called the Warriors. I think they changed their name. But all the same, though, North Dakota, the college, they always get huge, huge followings. So, yeah, I think a pro team could work up there.
Oh, absolutely. I think a pro team could work. I mean, you automatically have that rivalry with Minnesota.
Yeah.
So that'll jump that right there because they're right there.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, let's see here. Dylan saying Kansas City pitched for one, but too close to St. Louis, I feel. I don't know if the NHL feels comfortable with going back to Kansas City, only because the last time they went to Kansas City, it didn't work out so well. There was a big promise with the scouts, and it never really came forward. Now, to be fair, the scouts sucked, so that didn't help anything. This was before they moved to Colorado next. Yeah, I think they moved to Colorado next, and then they moved to New Jersey. But the point is that it really didn't work out because the team just did not work out at the end of the day.
Right.
And he says Hermes should be the logo. Play on being a dentist and an elf. All right. So with that, we'll have plenty of stuff to talk about. Rangers and Hurricanes. I'm gonna roll with the Hurricanes, and then Oilers and Flames. Flames. All right.
Make sure you go back and go back to the beginning of the show once we're done here, and then you'll get all our predictions.
Yep.
And a little more in-depth stuff. Yep.
All right, then. So, gents, time for us to go to our shootout segment. Don, you shut up. You still need to show up on the show, bro. All right. So, we talk about Don. We talked about around the league, but we're also going to now dive into our shootout segment. And our shootout segment for today, which is brought to you by none other than Specialized Physical Therapy, Dr. Paul Vidal. Listen, if you got any injuries at all, listen, you don't want to deal with that. You don't want to try and fight through an injury. That's always tough. Get it taken care of. And we don't mean like a broken bone or anything, but we mean like an ache or a pain of some kind or just really bad tension that you got going on. Go to Specialized Physical Therapy. Dr. Paul will take care of you there. It's got Cherry Hill, Burlington, New Jersey. You can make an appointment at specializedphysicaltherapy.com, and, he'll take care of you, and he'll make sure you feel better about that. Brian knows all about that.
Yeah, they do an awesome job over there. Definitely go check them out if you have any lingering issues.
Can you go see Dr. Paul if your butt hurts? A lot of feelings were hurt on this show this evening.
Apparently,
Yeah,
jeez
I'll get it.
Louise. Wow.
I was referencing Daniel, son, over there in Vancouver.
You skipped me. You guys skipped my comment.
That's true. New Orleans did have a team out there, and it was affiliated with the Sharks for a period of time. All right. So, gents, our shootout segment for today. We'll be going through our favorite moments of the week, favorite series of the first round, and predictions for the second round. So, gents, start off with, what was your favorite series of the first round?
For me, it's got to be Toronto and Tampa Bay. You know, I'm like over Tampa Bay being in the playoffs, so I'm against them in every single round until they're out. So I thought that actually was a very high-paced, high-scoring, highly entertaining series. You know, it's very back and forth. I thought that for me that was one of the best series of the first round.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, looking back to the first round, Dallas, Calgary. I mean, we talked about it earlier. We'll see if Calgary continues on in the Battle of Alberta, but all they had to do in the series against Dallas was beat Priz's boy Jake Oettinger, who set the all-time record for most saves in a non-OT Game 7, which was previously held by the great Ken Dryden. You know, absolutely single-handedly kept the Stars in Game 7. He actually totaled 64 saves in total and became the second goalie ever to make 60 or more saves in a Game 7 since 1955, when shots on goal were first tracked. And that was Kelly Rudy, 73 for the New York Islanders in the 87 Eastern Division semifinals.
Wow. That's crazy.
The kid's a stud. Don, nobody asked your opinion.
So for me,
Love you, buddy.
It's a good series.
Series of the first round. For me, I actually really enjoyed the Florida-Washington series. I thought it was a really fun battle between two teams. One team with veterans that did not back down and just showed you why they won the Cup in 2018, because they had that resiliency to them. But Florida stepping up and getting the job done. That was a fun series. That was a really fun series between both of those teams, and very competitive, which was actually weird because most of the first round teams were trading blowouts with each other. Florida and Washington weren't really doing that. They were very competitive games.
Don. He says, okay, I'm leaving. he says, Chris, just leave, brother. They don't appreciate us anymore. That's not true.
Oh, these guys are so butthurt. I don't even know why Don's team missed the playoffs. Oh, maybe that's why.
I mean, the referees are always bad anymore. It doesn't matter what sport you're watching. Officiating is not as good as it used to be.
And don't say, besides my bias, Canes and Bruins for him.
That was another good one. I don't think, outside from the Colorado-Nashville series, I think you could make an argument for any one of these other series being very, very good.
Yeah, this is definitely they even said it on, I think it was on the ESPN pregame, where this is
holy shit. I'm sorry, Rob. I'm sorry.
Problem?
So that massive hit. Anyway, go on.
Oh, no problem. Massive hit by who?
It was one of the Blues players. Literally launched one of the abs. His stick flew out of his hand and everything. He went flying. Holy shit. Oh, I think it was Makar who got launched. But anyway.
Definitely one of the most exciting first rounds, in Stanley Cup history. I mean, 5 Game 7s. Like, it's ridiculous.
I don't even know who that is. He completely blew up Makar after the play.
Yeah. All right. So let's see here. Let's do our favorite moments so far of the week in the playoffs.
1-1.
1-1. Oh, we got a goal from Landeskog. Or no, it's Nichushkin. Never mind. My bad.
Yeah, you self-corrected.
Favorite moment? I have to say, listen, I mean, this goes for every round. Every round, every team. My favorite moment is always the handshakes at the end of the hard-fought series. Like, I don't think there's any other moments that are better than that. No other sport got it right like the NHL does at the end of the day. At the end of every series, line it up. Doesn't matter how hard fought it is, no matter how much bad blood was spewed. Line it up, shake hands, and then you keep it moving. Good luck next year. Best. It's always the best moment.
Absolutely.
Code of honor.
Damn right.
Yep. Dylan's was Johnny Gaudreau's OT winner. Not too surprised by that pick.
For sure.
It's almost like he's rooting for him or something. For me, I would say my favorite moment would probably be I did like that OT winner from Connor McDavid. I liked it because, Florida finally breaking their jinx in the first round. I was like, that's a huge OT goal for that franchise. Might be the biggest OT goal. Yeah, I could argue it's probably their biggest OT goal because even though 96, they had a couple of big OT wins. That's still a big one right there for them. So, yeah.
And that was Drew's third point of that game.
Yes.
Yeah, I had that whole rundown as my favorite moment. G getting the game-tying goal with that sweet slapper 5-hole. Then assisting on Barkov's go-ahead goal with that sweet circle-to-circle pass. And then not to be outdone, after Oshie ties it with the sweet hand-eye coordination, G just has that all-out energy in OT and sets up that, the aforementioned Verhaeghe series-clinching goal. This is a great game, Maddie. I agree with you 1,000%. I still say Oshie's hit the puck initially in the air with a high stick, though, Brian. Even though it was fantastic eye hand.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I totally agree. Jake Hensel's goal was a high stick too.
Yeah, agreed.
What's up,
Jay? What's up, dude?
What's up, SJM? Coming in a little late, bro. We're almost about ready to wrap it up, but hey, we're happy to see you, bro.
Yeah.
They say make sure you guys lock your car doors in Toronto. Yeah, we know. Penn's getting eliminated. That goal was insane too. And that's a good moment right there, but I can't really say it's my favorite moment because the Rangers scored it. So
Panarin finally cutting through and getting his first goal of the series, and he's another one that needs to get going if they want to beat the Canes. They need to get some production out of him.
Yeah, and I like this. Dylan saying also the really classy moment was Markstrom embracing Ottinger, saying "You're the fucking future." That was a great moment.
That's an awesome moment.
Yeah. All right, so that's our favorite moments in this past week of the playoffs. And now we go to the predictions of the second round to finish out the shootout segment. And yes, so my prediction for the second round, and this is just like a hot take prediction, doesn't have to be like your series winners or anything.
Yeah, we went through all of them throughout the show anyhow, so yeah, you can always rewind back. But yeah, you got to save the juicy one for the end. Go for it, Maddie.
So my hot take prediction for this one is that we will see single series records broken between the Oilers and the Flames in this coming Battle of Alberta.
Interesting.
A lot of goal scoring coming. I can feel that. I can feel that. I know this goes again, and I'm not flip-flop. I'm standing by my really, as we established last week, Brian. Eddie Yeehaw could pick this pick, but Carolina, Colorado and Florida in the finals. But Blues got a shot to continue this run and take out the Avs. I think they got the edge in the series, and a big time rust factor, like you boys were saying earlier. So I'm going to say that the St. Louis Blues win that series in 6.
Man, you and I are on the same page, bro. I don't necessarily know if it's going to wind up being 6. I think this is a 7-game series, no matter how you look at it.
I could say that too.
But I just think the physicality of the St. Louis Blues is gonna be a little bit of a problem for the Colorado Avalanche. Plus, I like Jordan Binnington over Darcy Kemper as a goaltender.
Sure.
Just overall, I think Binnington's better, and Husso is really good backup to have. Outside of Kemper, who do you really have? I mean,
Right. Who do you turn
so
to?
I think that's going to be. Yep, I think that's going to be the X factor in the series here is the goaltending, and I think Binnington out battles the Colorado Avalanche to win the series in 7.
He's built for playoffs. He's a playoff goaltender.
Absolutely.
Prism saying, "Wouldn't know, wouldn't care. I don't want them to get ratings." Man, when Priz's team gets eliminated, man, he is vicious. Holy shit! I love this one too. Ottinger should have responded, "Your boys are as dirty as fuck, and I hope you get AIDS." Like, god damn, bro. God damn. Woo.
At least Priz don't go out carjacking people.
Yeah, right. Right.
At least as far as we know.
Yeah. On the news today in Texas, Don saying prediction: Lightning sweep the Panthers. Really? Oh, okay, that's a hot take. Ted saying you guys are really down on the Avs. I
wouldn't say down.
Not at all. It's weird saying that they're still my pick to represent the West in the Stanley Cup Finals. This is a hot take, something else that I could see happening. And I could see that happening because the Avs, until you show me you can do it in the playoffs, you got to have a little room for doubt.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not down on the Avs at all. I think their issue this year is going to be the same issue they had last year is they don't have a legit number one. Same reason with the Edmonton Oilers, why I don't think they're getting out of the second round. Probably shouldn't have gotten out of the first round. Lack of goaltending. Everything else I'm fine with. One of the best power plays, one of the best penalty kills, one of the best all-around transition teams. Colorado is one of the best offenses in all of hockey. They got their roster just absolutely loaded. They're right where they deserve to be. I think goaltending is going to be an issue, and I think a lack of physicality is going to be an issue as well, playing against a very tough St. Louis Blues team.
No, you're right. You're right. And it's going to be a fun one. To be honest, I forgot the Blackhawks were in the playoffs. They got swept, right? Blackhawks were not in the playoffs. The Preds were in the playoffs, and they got swept.
Yeah, I agree with Don on this one. That's a little too soon, Ted. We love you, Priz.
Yeah, we love all you guys.
For some reason, we love all you guys, but yes. All right, let's wrap this up. I'm ready for bed.
All right, guys. So that's it for our shootout segment. We thank everybody for joining us. As always, we love you guys out here in the fam, always giving us the support, always throwing out the comments. And, obviously we're not going anywhere. We're going to be here for the rest of the playoffs. And, it's been an interesting first round. I apologize again that I missed you guys through pretty much all of it. But I'm here now, and I'm here for the second round. So let's get ready to see what we got with these final 4 teams in each conference. All right, guys. With that, we are brought to you by a few of these lovely sponsors.
It doesn't look like it, but it's supposed to be.
Yes.
There it is. Yes. There it is.
And if you are looking to buy or sell a home, or if you're looking for a change in career or brokerage, contact Alan Foy, eXp Realty LLC at 302-682-8820, or visit them at the web at alan.foy at exprealty.com. Big move in life when you're going from one home to the other, or you're selling a home. Do it right. Go to Alan Foy, because you don't want to mess that up. That can screw you up big time. So do it right. Get it done right. And we also have All Campus, John Coyle. He's the man. He does the ramp booth down in Ocean City, but he also has that great shot. Oh, my God. What a save. What a fucking save by Jordan Binnington, showing shades of that 2019 run right there. Holy shit.
Wow.
Woo. What a save.
Eric Johnson had a wide open net, and he didn't get all of it.
Oh,
That puck slipped off his blade.
oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Yep. I think Kadri gave the best example of that. He just put his head in his gloves and just looked down on the ice. He could not believe it. Best chance they've had all night. Oof.
Wow, he had a wide open net. All right, sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
Yes, but all the same, John Coyle, All Campus OC, 20% off everything in their store, including hats, shirts, and for all subscribers. So get subscribed up, get that 20% off, wear your team colors with pride, and check out the ramp booth. All right. And, of course, Fan Up, the best way to enjoy fantasy sports with daily NBA contests and more. You can win great prizes if you sign up today and use the promo code A2T for 5,000 bonus points, a $50 value. All you got to do is go to fanup.app, download it, and start winning yourself some cash. Gleason's Bar, located at 6700 Mill Creek Ave in Levittown, PA. You can use the promo code A2D for 10% off your order whenever you dine in, take out, or you go online at gleasonsbarandsteaks.com. It's great food there, so absolutely go do that. And Bri, where can everybody go if they want to support us and they want to give us a little bit of love along with the rest of the A2D fam? Where can they go?
Head on over to phillydrinkers.com, Philly Drinkers LLC. They do a great job with all their merch, all kinds of great novelty shirts, all kinds of great mugs, hats, great stuff over there. Alex Einhorn does a great job with all our stuff. So head on over to phillydrinkers.com. That's Philly Drinkers LLC.
Absolutely. All right, guys. And one last go around here for, of course, our show sponsor, Manscaped. And that is the A2D membership. There we are. Nope, that's EXPLZ. Man.
You're rusty. Welcome back, Maddie.
Yes. Welcome back. There we are.
There it is.
Get 20% off.
Welcome back.
Plus free shipping with the code of A2D at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code at A2D at manscaped.com. It's time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life. What did the ladies not like, Brian?
Junk funk.
Yeah, get rid of that. So get rid of the old hygiene habits, upgrade your life, get Manscaped. All right, guys, we'll see you next week right here on A2DRadio.com, and we'll have more playoff action for you. We'll see where each series is at. We'll see if anybody got eliminated by that time. Until then, guys, you stay safe, you stay healthy out there. Peace and love, everyone.